audacity to stand up with grit and all that and stand up and raise their fists and say, fight, fight, fight to the American people?
Oh,
I guarantee
brother.
you. I guarantee you they
my
would.
God, you're so unreal. So if Kamala got shot in the ear, would you be voting for her instead?
It had nothing to do with that. I was Trump when he was president for 4 years ago.
Yeah. It has, dude. Okay, be so fucking for real. All right, I'm gonna go and respond to your 3 points: God, family, country. So first of all, when we're referencing God, I mean, like, first of all, Jackson, thank you for the $2 on Venmo for the goat. Thank you. I appreciate you for the love. So first of all, we are not a Christian nation. We are a nation in which you are free to be Christian. We're a nation in which you're free to be Muslim, be a Muslim. Sorry. We're a nation in which you're free to be to believe in Hinduism, Buddhism, etc. Right? We have a nation in which you're free to be Jewish. Okay, and in the context of this point, you should be voting for Kamala because Trump's the one that is trying to impose. Vanessa, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W Vanessas in that chat. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Massive W Vanessas, everybody. I really appreciate you for that. Massive W Vanessas, because Trump is the one that tried to impose a Muslim ban on anyone who believes in Islam from entering into our country. What happened to God? What happened to this being a country where you're free to, believe in whatever religion you want? He's an individual that wants to put God back in school, forcing kids to learn from the Bible, forcing kids to be good people because of the 10 Commandments. Yeah. What happened to the freedom of expression of religion? All right, so God, obviously we shouldn't be voting for him in that point. Second point, family. Trump was the one that elected 3 justices.
Our forefathers would roll over in their grave with that.
Our forefathers were also slave owners.
Our forefathers would roll over in their grave because, again, they were all about God.
Actually, they weren't.
What? Native Americans and the Pilgrims.
Native Americans were not Christian. they believed in spiritualism. And then like one nation under God. That was added in the 1950s. Then additionally here, right? I don't like Christian nationalism is bullshit.
Right.
I mean, I don't think that we should be forcing
what about in God we trust?
So obviously false.
So you believe the Bible's false?
Yeah. Like, do you think that slavery's always been wrong?
I do believe slavery was wrong. Yes.
Okay. But Leviticus 25 versus...
I believe in fair and equity all across the board.
So, but Leviticus 25 versus...
How do you feel about DEI?
So Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46 in the Christian Bible, God approves of slavery. He tells the Israelites that they could own non-Israelites as human property for life. And then Exodus 21, 20 through 21 specifically says that they could beat their slaves as they are their property. All right. And this was scripture, right? That's obviously not true for the reason being that God doesn't exist. But I mean, like the white supremacists during Emancipation era slavery specifically would use this scripture to justify their enslavement of African Americans, right? So that's why I think that Christian nationalism is so harmful, because it is legitimately used as a form or a tool for oppression of people that you may not agree with. Right? It's also used as a tool of oppression against women when we're speaking in context of abortion. It's used as a tool of oppression when we're speaking in context of members of the LGBTQ+ community. It's all unfounded, without evidence, and is only relied upon faith. And why should we be using your faith-based beliefs, right, to tell other people what they can and can't do with their bodies, who they can or can't marry, or even justifying the enslavement of black people? It's gross.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about telling women what they can and can't do with their body, I do fully agree with that we should not be telling women what we can and can't, or what they can and can't do.
Yeah, but Trump was the one that elected 3 individuals to the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade to do exactly that.
Trump pushed, and I've heard this. Trump has pushed it back to the states. And Trump has not been good. He's not been good on detailing what he means by that. When he says he pushed it back to the states, what he's trying to tell each and every American person, I'm pushing it back to the states for your representatives to add it to a bill for you all in each state to vote on. And some states are more liberal than some, and some are more right than the other side.
Oh, so you just want the legislation to be more representative of the constituents of the state?
Then you go and move and you go to another state that you can go and have the procedures of your
So you think it was going to put it back to the states because it just makes the legislation in the area more resemblant of the people who live in the state, right?
Possibly.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be like more hyper specific and more resemblant if we were to push back to the county and let it be legislated on the county level instead?
Again, that's up to your state reps to be able to do
but
that.
I'm just using your logic here. You're saying the reason it should have been pushed back to the state was for that reason. So wouldn't this also give us a reason to push it to the county as well?
No, let's do that. Push it down to the county and the city.
Okay, but maybe wouldn't it be more resemblant if we just push it back down to the household, because that's more resemblant upon the constituents of the household in comparison to the county? Yeah, then we push it back down from the household to the woman. What about that? What does that mean? We should just let individual women choose if they want to get an abortion or not, because that's going to be the most hyper-specific and the most high and the most resemblant upon what the woman wants and desires, right? And you know how we do that? We ensure federal protections for access to abortion on the federal level. Heather, thank you so much for the champion. I really appreciate you. Love Heather.
Here's something too. So I want to speak on the abortion thing a little bit. I've actually been the male, and I understand I don't have any rights to say what a woman can't do with their body. I get that. But I've actually been on the other side. I've actually been the guy that was with someone engaged to my ex-fiance, and she got pregnant, and she chose to go and have an abortion. And I had to go and sit with the minister and everybody else because I thought I was being crucified to hell based on the woman's decision. I then paid $700 to go and take this woman to go and have an abortion, okay? And I sat there in the waiting room holding her hand until they called her back. When they called her back, that she had a procedure, and then I took her back to my house where where she healed for a couple days. What I'm saying by all this is for 2 weeks, I had solid nightmares of literally seeing babies being yanked out or sucked out like a vacuum cleaner, thrown in a black garbage bag, and chucked out the back window of a medical facility. So just because a woman has the choice, sometimes women need to take it under consideration about how the male that they are with also feels about the situation. Yes, I don't have a say so, but I'm telling you, it was very crazy within my head of what I was envisioning what an abortion was like.
Baby, you're acting like you're more of a victim than that fetus. Quite the pro-lifer you are. Jesus Christ. Okay, anyways. Yeah, another fucking yanked out, thrown in the garbage, thrown out, nightmares for nights, had to consult with Jesus Christ.
She was 4.5 months pregnant.
Listen.
So you already know the baby already had eyeballs, had arms, had legs, all that.
Listen. If I was married to a woman and I engaged in intercourse with her and she got pregnant and I really wanted a kid. Also, Ian, thank you so much for the raid. W. Ian's in the chat. And she got an abortion. I'd be so sad. I'd be crying for days. Okay? I'd be having nightmares too. But guess what, Mr. Volleyball? Every single time we have let the emotions of the man dictate what women can or can't do with their bodies, historically speaking, we have had some very terrible outcomes, like restricting their ability to vote, restricting their ability to report rape and marriage, to own property, to open a bank account, to divorce their husband. We shouldn't be legislating on the basis of the emotion of men's to control women's bodies, point blank period. I have no problem with social advocation, no, I kind of do. Let me rephrase that. I have no problem with women considering the thoughts, wants, needs, and feelings of their husband, their boyfriend, etc., and getting an abortion if they want to. Okay, no problem. What I have a problem with, though, is legislating on that and saying that the woman has to allow the man to control her body. Absolutely. That's very problematic. And don't you think it's also problematic that you feel very sad and regretful about, this woman getting an abortion without your consent as a man? Terrible logic, by the way. How do you think the 1 out of every 3 women across the United States of America feels when they're told they can't get an abortion and they have to provide their bodily resources to a fetus within the room without their consent for 9 months because of the old white man politicians sitting in Congress?
Well, I believe in the 3 that Trump believes.
What?
I believe in the 3 terminologies for approving an abortion, just like Trump does.
Oh, yeah, grape, incest, and whatever the hell the other one is.
Yeah,
medical
harm
exceptions.
to the
Yeah. So here's my thing. I think some women have more dire situations than others. Of course, I'm gonna look at a woman who got raped and is pregnant very differently than a woman who engaged in intercourse with consent, etc. But just because some women's situations are more dire than others doesn't give us any formative excuse to say that some women deserve more access to healthcare than others. Okay, pro-life legislation ultimately destroys the family unit. It's placing unwanted children in unready households. It's shifting the American focus from these financial financially well-off adults that desire to have children, desire to start a family, to forcing these 19, 20, 21-year-old boys and girls into starting a family because the woman is not allowed health care at the expense of what the white men in her state are legislating, right? I also think that this is detrimental to like economic outcomes in our country. We see higher rates of poverty, lower rates of employment, education, and income, lower qualities of life, specifically because we're forcing these individuals away from work, away from school to focus on these kids that they never wanted in the first place. It's terrible, right? And you say that, you're for the American people, you're for the country. Well, I mean, this is antithetical to the American people because you're not allowing the American people to, express themselves or do what they want with their own bodies. It's gross, right? And ultimately, I think that this is one of the biggest reasons why we should all vote for Kamala Harris, because we want that, we want Roe v. Wade to be reinstituted at the federal level. We want there to be protections for all 170 million American women and girls, and that's why we should all be voting for, ultimately speaking. And then also, you're the party of law and order, correct?
Right.
Then why are you voting for the felon over the prosecutor?
That's a good one. So let me hear this. So when Biden and Kamala had things that happened in Chicago, Minneapolis, and all that, I didn't see anybody raising a stink about any of this. But yet when cities were burning, those same people weren't crucified, but yet Trump let him do one thing bad, let him get convicted as a felon, and now that's a bad thing.
Yeah, but the difference here is that the people that were engaging in like the riots, after the BLM protests, most of them were Proud Boys, right? Republican, fun fact, in Minneapolis specifically, and then secondarily, that was not Kamala or Biden down there burning down. One second, let me speak. Secondarily, that wasn't Kamala or Biden directly down there burning buildings, and then Kamala and Biden didn't like incite that to occur. But see, the difference here is that Trump actually went out and raped a woman himself. Trump went out and engaged in falsification of business records himself. Trump went out, caused an insurrection himself. Trump went out, told his VP not to certify the results of the election himself. Trump went out and sent 7 different fake electorates to 7 different states to cast false votes into the Electoral College with his lawyer himself. There's no comparison to be made here. This is a false equivocation.
So my question to you then, if you're going to throw out all those facts about what Trump did, January 6th, yes, I understand what happened at the Capitol was wrong. But there has been a lot of crap that also happened prior to or after the event, such as I do not think that the election was true. I do believe that there was some fraudulent stuff that did happen, such as those post office mail trucks that...
Ken, thank you for the $4.50 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Go ahead.
The post office mail trucks that were tipped over, all the ballots and mail-in ballots that was laying in ditches and all this kind of stuff. My deal is that we need to have an equal system across the board. If it's mail-in ballots, however it is, and now Trump is coming out and saying he supports mail-in ballots. I would have never done that. I'm just telling you, I want somebody to physically walk into a building, show their driver's license, their ID, whatever it is, show that they are registered to vote, and then go and cast their ballot.
Hey, buddy. So when we're referencing the 2020 election, there's never been a safer election in recorded history. Trump tried to bring his case that it was stolen from him to 60 handpicked courts. They all sent him home packing, including 17 courts with judges that he appointed.
Correct. I get it. But I do believe that there was some other things. Again, that's my belief.
Conspiracy
that's
theory.
not facts.
You have no reason to believe that. Exactly. You're valuing feelings over facts here.
Okay, but same thing. Let me just tell you this. The same reason why I didn't vote for Obama is this. When I look down the party line, I would love to be able to vote for a Democrat one day. If I knew that my job would not be in jeopardy, if I knew that this world would be a safer place, if I knew in the world, not just America, the world would be a safer place, our financial issues and financial problems that we currently have based on bad policy here in America.
Oh, wait, name one policy that the Biden-Harris...
Inflation, gas prices.
What
$2 higher in gas prices.
How did the Biden-Harris administration cause higher gas prices?
Because Trump had passed where he was taxing the people overseas, and we were starting to do the drill, baby, drill. He was trying to do the pipeline and everything.
We're drilling more oil here at home in America than any country that has ever existed in the history of the earth.
Yeah, and we do have it. I do believe that. I believe that if we had 100 years worth, do you realize right now that we're giving Saudi Arabia and Iran so much of our money, and they have us grabbed by our fortitude? They are literally holding us.
Hey man.
Yeah.
So, first of all, you said the reason that we're paying higher prices at the pump today is because the Biden-Harris administration decreased domestic drilling for oil. False. We're drilling more oil today than we did under Trump's presidency, as well as we're drilling more oil today than,
Where's the
than
proof
any other
on?
country.
Where's the
in
proof that
history.
that we are drilling here in the United States more than we are at requesting for Iran or Saudi Arabia?
The EIA, the Energy Information Administration,
Okay.
13.2 million barrels of oil per day.
And how much? Do you
Yo,
know,
Carrie! Thank you so much for the $75 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for that love, Carrie. Let's get some massive W carries in that chat for the $75 on PayPal. Let's get 200 Ws for Carrie in that chat. Thank you so much for the love. I
What's-
really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you
if
so
you
much.
if you have that information, what's the average that Trump is proposing that he's going to do with drill baby drill?
He actually hasn't given any specifics. That's just kind of one of his headlines.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. So I'll look that up.
But how did that cause higher
apologize for
gas
not having
prices? So once
what?
again, how did like the Biden-Harris administration cause inflation or cause higher gas prices?
it. You tell me why gas prices are so high today than they was when Trump was president.
Yeah, because we have a lower global supply of oil by Trump brokering a deal with OPEC to reduce their output by 10% and like Russia's
why is
invasion of
that?
Ukraine, meaning that we're no longer and Russia's invasion of Ukraine because which means we're no longer getting Russian oil, as well as global inflation was onset by the pandemic. It was a natural response in every country around the globe, but the U.S. has had the quickest response out of any leading country in the G7.
So based on us not being able to get oil from Russia because of the Russia and Ukraine issue, then why is the United States not amping up more oil production to support the loss that we are not getting our oil now from
They
Russia?
actually literally have. Once again, we're producing more oil than any country that has ever existed, and the Biden-Harris administration has approved 50% more drilling permits than Trump's.
Like I said, I'm going to go read up on that. I was not aware of that that you just gave me. EIA 13.2 million average a day.
EIA, Energy Information Administration, that's where you're going to see how much we're producing now compared to any point in history. And then Political Pro, alongside other sources, will tell you that we've approved more drilling permits under Biden than Trump. Yeah.
What about the inflation with food?
Yeah, that's just global. I mean, we saw inflation everywhere. It was just caused by the pandemic. It was expected, but the U.S. has had the quickest rebound from it out of any other country on the earth. Mel, thank you for the money gun.
It is costing us, I mean, just a lot of money. So I'm one of those people
Yeah, but we've
that
had the best rebound from it out of any other country in the G7 because of Biden and Harris. Like we are the star in the world right now. Everyone is looking to us. We had the fastest rebound from the global inflation, peaked at 9, now we're down to 2.8. We specifically also had some of the biggest economic growth coming out of the out of COVID without causing like a what do you call it, a recession. Like we are the world superstar, right? Everybody's looking at us for our phenomenal response from COVID because of the Biden-Harris administration.
and home prices hasn't gone down though.
Well, yeah, because inflation is the rate of change in the pricing of a good. So we can't really send prices down without deflation, and deflation causes recessions. So it's more so about just decreasing inflation and then kind of working our wages up from there.
All right, I know we're nearing the end of my conversation. Again, the reason why I support Trump is based on military, federal government positions, making sure that we can hire anybody and everybody that is qualified for our jobs, try to get them hired to do our missions that we have. I support our military through and through.
Then you should support Harris because Biden passed the largest
actually
pay raise
scared about-
for the military in 20 years. Biden also passed the PACT Act, investing $800 million into expansion of VA healthcare benefits, some of the most monumental legislation for veterans in modern U.S. history. He's also the first president in the last 25 years to not have active boots on the ground fighting wars.
What about the proposal for disabled veterans to lose their disability checks based on us volunteering and going to Iraq or Afghanistan?
Show me a proposal from the Biden-Harris administration that would ever state that. There's no way that exists.
Yeah, there was. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I am scared. My daughter's about to sign in to the Air Force.
Give me a source.
And
I want a source.
scared
I want a
after
source.
that.
I want evidence. I want a source.
Okay.
That they influence this proposal. In the meantime, guys, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen. We're going to go and bring up our next guest while he's looking for that source. So if you are in the queue, You want to come up and debate? Make sure to let me know in that chat. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Let's go ahead and see what we got. Let's go ahead and see what Kinson Raymond has to say, y'all. For the 4.6 thousand of y'all in here, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen. What's going on,
No.
Kinson? Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
Have we talked before?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Well, no, we got to debate again, though. We got to debate again.
Okay. Why are you voting for Trump?
Nah, I'm saying, like, you were talking to the dude, and you said America has had the best rebound on inflation.
Out of any country in the G7,
It's
absolutely.
not true, though, bro. Brazil had it.
Wait, 1 second. We've had the best global rebound out of
No,
any
we
country in
didn't,
the
bro.
G7.
Brazil had it. Brazil is in first
Really?
place. Yeah, 100%.
1 second. Is Brazil
In
in the G7?
2022. In 2022.
Group 7. One second. Who are the G7 countries? Yeah, so Brazil is not in the G7.
That you know, you're talking about in the whole world, right? Who had the best rebound on inflation? It's not America.
Yeah, we've had the quickest global rebound out of any country in the G7.
So America is first. Can I see?
Yeah, just look up like rebounds from inflation or inflation existing in countries in the G7, and you'll see that America's had the quickest global rebound from it.
In the G7, right?
Yep.
I will.
Also, what the fuck do you have behind you?
Oh, I gotta show you this, bro. Like, well, hold on. Let me change it. I'm talking about like the national debt too. You see the national debt?
Yeah, I know specifically from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget that Trump added $8.4 trillion to our national debt. Meanwhile, Biden only added $4.3 trillion.
That's all he did. How much did Biden do?
4.3 trillion.
But it says 35. How much? But it skyrocketed the past few.
Yeah. I want you to go ahead, go look up Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget and put up the net 10-year debt approved plan under Biden and Trump and go ahead and show everybody how you're wrong.
I bet that's in there, man.
Yeah. Guys, make sure that we're double tapping. We're only at 200,000 likes. Let's try to get to 300,000. Make sure that we're double tapping here. Share it out that live as well. And if you guys want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in that bio, right? Great way to support me. I get 100% of the proceeds, etc. Hey, but Kenton, I actually respect you for trying to come with the facts. I appreciate that, big dog.
Buddy. I'm not done yet. You keep saying Trump is racist, but I want to hear your thoughts on how he's racist.
1973.
Except that 1973, not accepting black people at his hotel. What else?
1973, he denied black people housing because they were black. He had his team write the letter C on their housing applications. He actually was held, he was brought to civil court for this. Then he had to make a, make a promise to our federal government not to ever do it again. What else? Yeah, specifically the birther movement, in response to Barack Obama saying that he was born in Kenya with no sufficient evidence, even though he's a natural-born U.S.
How is that
citizen.
racist?
And has a birth certificate from Hawaii. That's racist because the only reason he said that is because Obama is black. That's pretty racist.
That's not really racist. If you had to guess where I was born, what do you think I was born?
I don't know where you were born.
If you had to guess though, keep it a buck. What would you say I was born?
How? I don't have any information that would prelude to me having
Alright.
any clue where you were born.
So if you look at Haiti's a black country, America's a white country mostly, right? If you look at
Did you just say America is a white country?
mostly, but it's Caucasian, like mostly white people here.
Brother,
Is it not?
brother, would it be fair for me to assume? No, okay. Do I really need to explain to you how Donald Trump saying that Obama is not a U.S.-born citizen, he is from Kenya, and even though he has a birth certificate from Hawaii, he still denied that he was a U.S. citizen because he was black? Do I need to explain to you how that's racist?
No. Let me ask you a question though. If you had to guess if I was from the USA or Haiti, what would you guess? Based on my skin color.
Bro, I don't think that skin color tells us anything about where someone was born.
It tells you a little bit, man. It plays a part.
It doesn't give us sufficient reason to dictate where someone was born.
So if you were to ask me if you were born in two different countries, one is like mostly black people, mostly white people. What do you
Yeah, I don't think that would give a sufficient reason. Like, what I'm saying here is, I mean, like, you could say that they'd give, like, some reason,
Well,
right? But
exactly.
definitely not sufficient to lead to a conclusion.
No, it could lead to a conclusion, but it's just not
Right.
100%.
No, like, are you literally trying to convince me to, like, engage in, like, racism?
No, I'm not engaging you. I'm saying.
Like, I think you're trying to convince me to engage in racism right now.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm just saying that's not really racist. That's wrong to guess that, but But if you're gonna come up saying Trump is racist, you can't give me one of the reasons that's racist. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my God! Wait! Like saying that Obama was born in Kenya, when Obama was born in the U.S. and even has a birth certificate from Hawaii, and then
Were his
continuing to
parents
say
born
that
in
that's all
Kenya?
fake, that's a lie, and he was born in Kenya.
No, I'm not saying it's a lie, but were his parents born in Kenya?
I think his dad was, yeah.
So that's not far stretch, bro. But
That is a far stretch, bro. Bro, I mean, dude, okay, what's the difference between Trump saying that Obama can't be president because he was born in Kenya because he's black, and like a white supremacist or like honestly a Trump supporter walking up to a Latino, right, a U.S. citizen, right, that is Latino, like on our streets, and saying, "Go back to where you came from." What's the difference between those two things?
there's
That's
no,
crazy! You can't think of one! And you're still asking me how it's racist?
I mean, I don't see, but like Trump did so many things for the black community, Brody, and you're still trying to call him racist. Like,
He actually only sent 200... So, wait, I'm gonna ask you. What did Trump do for the African-American community here in the U.S.?
colleges, employment.
Colleges, HBCUs, he sent $250 million per year to them. Meanwhile, the Biden-Harris administration has sent $16 billion so far.
16 billion. That's not the. It wasn't. He did not send that much money, bro.
That's how much the Biden-Harris administration has sent. Absolutely.
The $500 billion plan. What about you? Just gonna forget about that?
Wait, Trump had $500 billion planned?
With the platinum plan.
What the fuck is that? No, absolutely. He did not have... Okay, so you're telling me...
Look it up, bro.
Wait, you're telling me that Trump wanted to send literally $500 billion to historically black universities?
Yeah, for funding them.
That's so cap. That's absolutely false. Can you give me a
not
source?
For funding them, not for funding them, for black jobs, like $500 billion for black jobs.
The hell's a black job?
What do you mean?
What's a black job?
Black African American, bro.
Wait, I'm a white man streaming on TikTok. Is streaming on TikTok a white job?
Not really. No.
Okay, so then why would a
You
black
know what
man
I'm
working in any
saying?
job make it a black job?
Black people that have jobs. What do you mean?
Wait, but I'm a white person that has a job streaming on TikTok. You said that doesn't make streaming on TikTok a white job. So
No,
therefore,
but I'm
when
not
black
talking
people
about-
work
I'm
jobs, that
talking
doesn't make it
about-
a black job.
What? Why you, bro? I'm saying he passed the $500 billion plan for black people jobs.
Wait,
How
okay,
is
what was
that
the name of the
racist? That's
policy?
not racist, bro.
What was the name of the policy?
The name of the policy was bro. I'm pretty sure it's like in 2020, right, during Trump campaign, he created like an act for like 500 billion, creating 3 million jobs, bro.
What's the name of the act?
I don't know the name of the act, but you can just look it up.
Can you get me the name of the act? I want to know the name of the policy, sir.
You keep talking about Bill. Give me a minute.
Bro, you're saying he passed policy that invested $500 billion
Yeah, he
in
did, but you can just
jobs
look it
held
up,
by
man.
African American individuals. First of all, I don't even know what that means. I have no clue what a black job is. It sounds kind of racist.
Don't make it racist, bro. You don't gotta make it racist, bro. It's
Bro,
not-
why would we classify some jobs as quote unquote black? Like
I'm
that
not
just
saying
screams
some
like the
job.
same
I didn't
type
say
of
some
rhetoric.
job, bro. I'm saying like black people that works a job, like black people's job, bro. It's not wrong, bro. We all have the same job, but he funded that act so black people have a better chance at jobs, bro. How is that so wrong?
So you're saying just to like raise rates of employment within like the African
Within the
American
black community, yes, bro. I don't know. why
Oh,
you-
okay. So yeah, what was the name?
But look it up. In 2020, during his campaign, $500 billion. The platinum plan, bro.
Okay, and when was the platinum plan signed into effect?
Well, you see it, right?
Yeah. So when was this signed into law?
I think it was.
It didn't. It didn't. The answer is never.
Why?
Who fucking knows? Just like he never passed the infrastructure bill, just like he never built the wall.
Well, is it not because he didn't win? So, 'cause it was a campaign thing in 2020. So he
Okay.
didn't win. What do you expect?
Why hasn't he campaigned upon that this year?
I mean, he laid out all his policies, bro. What do you mean? And Kamala Harris didn't lay out anything.
Oh wait, obviously she did, right? So she obviously laid out
exactly?
like her
He was
advocation
asked
for
the
like
question.
Medicare for all. She laid out her plan to like restrict like individuals' ability to buy new AR-15s. Like some buyback programs non-mandatory. I mean, like she's laid out like a ceasefire plan for Israel and Palestine. Plus, like I don't know, I want to take the prosecutor over the felon, the non-rapist over the rapist, the
The policy, bro.
the non-misogynistic, the non-racist over the misogynistic racist, the person that cares about the American people and our democracy.
That's not the policy.
It's the individual that tried to overthrow it.
That's all the policies you got. That's not a lot, bro.
Well, I mean, if we want to go over the policies that they've already passed, like the infrastructure bill investing $1 trillion in infrastructure, PACT Act investing $800 million into expansion of VA healthcare benefits, a CHIPS and Science Act to bring chip production here back home in America. I mean, what do you want? Like, dude, really? How do you feel about the fact that you are voting for a rapist, sir?
It's not. I'm not looking at the guy, bro. I'm not. His personal life don't matter to me, bro.
Really? Really? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So if it was true that he raped,
Why was
imprisoned,
so
and tortured
bad-
Katie
why was
Johnson and
so-
Jeffrey Epstein, would you still vote for him?
Hold on. What was so bad in 2016 to 2020 about when Trump was president for you? What was so bad?
Well, I mean, if we want to, like, you know, talk about the coup that he tried to stage to overthrow our government and, like,
Not like
destroy
personal.
democracy.
What was so before that happened?
Okay, so apart from the coup to overthrow democracy,
Now, 2016, 2017 to 2018, 2019. What was so bad when he was president?
yeah, so coup aside, insurrection aside, overthrowing a democracy aside, yeah, like we could specifically talk about how he elected 3 justices to the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade, or like the TCGA, which you know,
Dude, you're
cut-
not telling me what was so bad, bro. Tell me what was so bad for the American people.
overturning Roe v. Wade and putting the rights of all 170 million American
What's-
women and girls on the line was bad.
Okay, what else? Yeah. hmm
What else? Yeah, the TCGA tax cuts, 83% going to the top 1%, costing $2 trillion,
That's just a lie, bro.
4.02% increase
That's
in
a
our
lie.
GDP. That's pretty bad.
That's a lie, dude.
It's not a lie. No.
So 2016, 2017, 17, 18, 19, there was nothing bad, bro. Before the COVID came, bro.
Dude, please. Okay. Hey, can you name one policy that the Biden-Harris administration
You're
influenced
gonna
that
come
caused
back
you to think is bad?
to the policy, Woody. I'm not
I-
doing
I
the
did.
policies, bro.
With all due respect, I pointed out the coup against our government, the electing 3 justices to the Supreme Court to take rights away from women, the TCGA, which is a specific policy. Stephanie, thank you so much for the $45 on Venmo. Stephanie says for supporting the rights of women. I really appreciate you for the love there, Stephanie. Let's get some massive W Stephanies in the chat. I really appreciate you. Let's get some massive W Stephanies down below. That is so kind of you, Stephanie. Thank you so much. But I'm honestly going to ask you the same question. Can you name one policy that the Biden-Harris administration has influenced to get passed that you think is bad?
global minimum tax. I don't know, like on the tax, bro.
Okay, so they actually haven't passed any tax policy. We're still under Trump's tax code.
Boy, if we were, things would not be the same. But we already went through this last live, bro.
Gets in! It ends at 2027. We are still under Trump's tax code. That is a fact. That is a FACT. Absolute fact.
Okay. So you're telling me the tax I'm paying right now, when Trump wins it's gonna be the same. It's not gonna go down at all.
Literally.
Literally, you gotta.
We're still under his, we're under his tax
No, you gotta
code.
keep
Yeah.
your words though. You gotta keep your words close. Because when I talk to you again, right? Remember that you said it's gonna be the same, and all you should. And the price
Hey,
of things.
Kenton, you got a computer in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead and ask Google if we're still under Trump's tax policy and tell me what Google tells you.
I will.
Oh, this one better not run. Perfect.
I'm not running, buddy.
So what does Google tell you?
Wait. You said we're still under Trump's law, but there has been some changes though.
Like what?
Obviously, that's what I think is so different.
The changes were expected sundowns from the tax
No,
policy.
no,
introduced
there's
by
been
Trump.
changes under Biden administration, bro.
Really? Like what?
I told you, brother, like standard deduction, corporate tax rate, all the state and local tax, bro. He's changed them.
Oh, state and local taxes that aren't controlled by the federal government. We're talking about federal taxes. What changes have we seen within our federal tax
Hold on. IRS enforcement, child tax credit. Yeah, what about those? Those like didn't happen.
What change have we seen in our federal tax code? The tax credit?
The
For
child
children?
tax credit, bro. Yeah.
Okay, when did we what was the change and when did we see it and who changed it?
I'm pretty sure it was like happened in 2021 to like 2022 something.
2021?
Hmm.
And who is it changed by?
Biden, bro.
Okay, through what policy? Because policy changes tax codes. So what's the name of the policy?
Policies, bro. You know the country is worse right now, bro. You keep when
Wait, no, policies change tax code. What's the name of the policy that Biden influenced to get passed that changed
I
the
don't
tax code?
know, Brody, but stop.
That's right, because the changes within Trump's tax code were set sundowns of things within the tax code. Like
Yeah,
it's a
but-
10-year plan with like expected changes through the 10-year plan where some things get sundown or eliminated, right? And particularly if we want to talk about expected change in the child tax and in the child tax credit, if Harris is reelected, she wants to increase taxes on people making over $400,000 a year, so then she could increase that child tax credit to $500 a month. Right? Is that a good thing? It's a phenomenal thing. It'll also decrease our deficit. New Day, I appreciate you for the minute again. But there was one question I asked you earlier that I wanted you to respond to. So I asked you how you feel about the fact that you're voting for a rapist. And you said, look, let's leave his personal life out of this. I'm voting for him because of policy. So my question to you is, if Trump had raped, imprisoned, and tortured Katie Johnson, a 13-year-old girl, Jeffrey Epstein, would you still vote for him?
No, he wouldn't be running for president, bro. I would not vote for him. I would not know of him.
So you wouldn't vote for him if he raped a little girl, but you would vote for him if he raped an adult woman. Why?
I wouldn't vote for him if he raped a little girl. Now I'm voting for him because the country is better under him. And Kamala Harris has not promised the country's gonna be better in 2025, bro. If she promised, I'm going to vote for her, bro.
Don't
It's not
pivot.
a
So
big-
you specifically said that you wouldn't vote for him if he raped Katie Johnson, but you would vote for him. If
No,
he
no,
raped
no, no, no,
Katie
no,
Johnson.
no, no. Now, Brody, I'm saying I'm voting for him under his policy. He raped
Yeah. So
girls.
if he raped Katie Johnson, you'd still vote for him because of his policy? Yes or no?
Brody, no, I would not. He would not be running, bro.
Okay, so you want to vote for him if he raped a little girl, but you are currently voting for him, and he was held liable for the rape of an adult woman. So why would you vote for him if he raped an adult
As
woman,
soon
but
as
you wouldn't
Kamala
vote for him
Harris-
if he raped a little girl?
Listen, bro. As soon as Kamala, like, if she says the country's gonna be better, Brody, I'm going to vote for her, bro. There's no like personal feelings, bro.
I don't know why my question is so hard to answer. Chat. Is my question clear? Like, I'm actually just asking a very simplistic question. You said you wouldn't vote for him if he raped Katie Johnson, but you would vote for him regardless of the fact that he has raped E. Jean Carroll, an adult woman. So why is it the case that you hold a different standard here?
I'm not holding different standard, dude.
Yes, you are. You're like, I would vote for him if he raped E. Jean Carroll, but I wouldn't vote for him if he raped Katie Johnson.
Did not
Why
say
would you
that.
vote for him in one scenario but not the other?
I wouldn't. I don't like anybody that rapes, bro. It's wrong to do, but I don't care about his personal life. If he did that, hold him accountable, right? I don't.
You're
care.
still gonna vote for him, right?
Hold him accountable. We have
You're still gonna vote for him, right?
justice, bro. No, Brody, I'm going to vote on the policies, bro.
Yeah, so if it was true that he raped, imprisoned, and tortured Katie Johnson, would you still vote for him because of his phenomenal policy?
Okay, so say I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris, right? The wars don't stop. Everybody fucking dies. People can't afford shit. Which one do you
What are you
fucking
yapping
want?
about?
Which one do you want, Brody? The wars is not going to stop.
okay.
on the
So you're
Kamala
saying
Harris.
that how would Harris cause inflation, or how has the Biden-Harris administration already caused it?
I'm not talking about inflation, bro. I'm talking about wars, bro. You act
Yeah,
like
what wars has the Biden-Harris administration caused?
not cause, but they could stop them.
Like by funding them, by giving them weapons
No,
and money to
literally
destroy
stop them.
Russia, or by introducing a ceasefire deal, particularly to end the genocide of the innocent
Yeah,
Palestinian people.
but
at the
Israel
hands
did
of
not
Israel?
take it because they don't respect the USA enough.
Okay. Then why did Benjamin Netanyahu speak in our Congress 2 weeks ago?
What happened after that? What happened after that?
What I don't fucking know. You're just saying
You
he
don't
doesn't
see the
respect our
news.
country.
You don't
and
see all
flew
these
over.
bombings. You don't see these generals being killed.
What's that?
You don't see the bombings and shit happen. It's like he got a green light from Congress so he could start more fighting, bro.
Actually, yeah, because Congress really supports Israel, and they think that they're
But that-
acting in defense. Yo, Q-Top, request up. Q-Top, get your ass up here, buddy. Q-Top, get your ass up here. Q-Top, get your fucking ass up here. Q-Top, I invited you. Get your ass up here, Q-Top. Yeah, so specifically, Trump labels himself as the most pro-Israel president we've ever had. He doesn't think that the Biden-Harris administration has done enough for them. He specifically says that he thinks that we should be sending more weapons, sending them more funding, etc. Meanwhile, Biden-Harris actually would support a ceasefire. But you're still not answering my question here, and I feel like you haven't engaged with a lot of the things I've said here on live today. So did you specifically have anything else that you want to go over insofar as why you're voting for Trump before I move on to my next guest?
Just I don't know. I don't like the thing you're saying. Shit.
All right, moving on to our next guest. Yo, we got Q-Top in the queue. Q-Top, ladies and gentlemen, we got Q-Top in the queue. How are we doing, brother?
How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing?
Oh, I'm doing phenomenal, man. You're voting for Trump, yeah?
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about the fact that you're voting for a grapist?
Yeah, so Trump is not a grapist.
Yeah. So, would you vote for someone that has more likely than not sexually abused a woman?
I reject your question. I feel like your question is loaded for the simple fact of when you say most likely, that's just going to be, some terminology that's going to be, indicative of some group of individuals find this to be most likely. But I don't see it.
Yeah. So, a civil court held Trump legally responsible for the rape of E. Jean Carroll due to a preponderance of evidence supported after 2 years of deliberation in a courtroom, and they concluded that it's more likely than not the case that Trump raped her. So I'm just asking you, would you vote for someone that is more likely than not a rapist?
Yeah. So I vote for policy, not personal life allegations. So
you would, right?
So yeah, I mean,
Okay.
but
So if the Epstein files were true, and so far as him raping, imprisoning, and torturing 13-year-old Kitty Johnson, you'd still vote for him?
I reject your hypothetical because that's not true. Those Epstein files are not true.
Yeah, but the question is, if it was the case, would you still vote for him? And I'd appreciate an answer, Q-Top.
Yeah. So again, I reject your hypothetical. When you say if it was the case, I can ask if anything is the case, would you do something? That I don't engage in these unjustified, unsupported hypotheticals. If there was a case that you can make that the Epstein files are true, then I would engage in that discussion. But I'm not seeing sufficient evidence to hold that as true.
Well, I mean, I don't really think you know what a hypothetical is. All that I'm doing here is I'm testing your logic for a good reason, right? Because you told me that, obviously you're still going to vote for Trump, even though it's the case that more likely than not, he raped E. Jean Carroll, right? So I'm just willing to see how far you take your logic of policy over personal life here by simply asking you a simple question. If the Epstein files were true, would you still vote for him? Q-Top, if you were to turn this question around on me and ask me, right, if Kamala Harris was a rapist, if she had raped a 13-year-old girl, would I still vote for her? My answer would be no, right? Because I can engage in those hypothetical questions. So please just answer my hypothetical question. If the Epstein files were correct and he raped, imprisoned, and tortured a 13-year-old with Jeffrey Epstein, would you still vote for him?
Yeah. So again, brother, for the third time, I've made my point very clear here. And I think you've asked, a plethora of questions. So now I believe they would be my turn to ask you a couple of questions from here.
As soon as you can answer, absolutely. As soon as you can answer, I will happily pass you the mic.
I've already showed how the question in itself is flawed because you're putting me in a scenario where I have to choose between two choices that are just invalid, because the question itself is presupposing that these things Trump even would think about doing or is capable of doing or has done, and that's not the case. Trump has never done.
So, assuming your worldview, the answer here should be pretty easy. Your answer should be, if the Epstein files were true, I wouldn't vote for them, but I don't think they are true. That is the best response you could give right now. Are you willing to respond to my question?
But that response in itself is just going to be not reflective of anything productive here, because again, I've already showed how the question in itself is flawed. So I can literally just on the basis of a flawed question, I can just reject it. If you say
what is a flawed question?
Yeah, a flawed question typically going to be denoting some sort of if conditional, where the if conditional is not even justified or possible. There's no sufficient.
In an if then conditional, we would assume that the predicate would be true. That's why I'm asking you, if it was the case that he raped, imprisoned, and tortured 13-year-old Kitty Johnson, would you still vote for him? And it's I've clarified so many ways how this is a fair question to ask.
Yeah,
I even clarified that. 1 second. I've even clarified that you could ask me the same thing about Kamala Harris, and my response would be no. If Kamala Harris raped, imprisoned, and tortured a 13-year-old girl, Q-Top, I would not vote for her. And I've even clarified what a potential response you could give here is no. If Donald Trump had raped, imprisoned, and tortured a 13-year-old girl, I wouldn't vote for him. But if it is the case, I don't think he did that, so I'm still going to vote for him. So do we understand how not only I have asked myself the question and answered, I have given you a potential answer that you can grant? Just answer my question here. Right? It's very simple. It's very simple. I asked you if you'd still vote for him, even though it's the case he's raped E. Jean Carroll. You said you would, right? You want to grape us in there. So I'm just asking you the next logical question. Would you vote for him if he raped Katie Johnson? And I feel like the question you don't want to answer isn't because you think it's illogical. You don't want to answer this question because it's going to make you look like a piece of shit when you say yes.
Okay, so thank you for your projections there, Dean. To kind of sum this up, because you mentioned let's keep it simple. So yeah, let's just keep it simple and let's put a bow on this here. Simply put, I vote for a presidential candidate that benefits the American people. Okay, I vote for a presidential candidate that's going to actually institute policies to get us out of the nonsense that we're in right now. I don't vote for presidential candidates based upon speculations or allegations. If these allegations are true or not, okay, at the end of the day, what is best for the American people is best.
So
for
you would vote for him if he raped, imprisoned, and tortured Katie Johnson?
So yeah, so Dean, thank you so much for your childish antics. Yeah, guys, this is exactly what we see from the left, by the way, right? They don't want to talk policy. They don't want to talk protocol. They don't want to talk how Kamala Harris literally.
I've been talking policy all fucking day long, man. I'm so sorry.
Okay, well then let's actually.
I just want to point out how insane that is.
Okay, well, Dean, I think it's insane. I think it's insane that you literally misquoted on my live. You misquoted what Trump's actually said, and then on top of that, when I asked you for a justified source of information, you took it upon yourself to bring up CNN, bro. CNN, really? CNN as your source of information? Dean, you really?
So there's 2 points of clarification here, Q-Top.
One second, Dean, can I just finish?
Of course.
You literally thought it was a justified source of information to bring up CNN. And by the way, guys, the Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo is in a bio. I appreciate all the support.
Okay, well, I mean, first of all here, right, so when I particularly referenced a source for you on CNN for a decrease in border crossings, I was speaking to you at that same point saying that you could reference any mainstream media source, including Politico, AP News, etc. But you kind of just kicked me off and said, CNN loser, right? And then about misquoting Donald Trump, what you're referencing is me saying that, yeah, Donald Trump did say on an Access Hollywood tape that, yeah, he could grab a woman by the P word and he doesn't even need to ask first, right? And you're saying, did he actually? Then I was like, yeah, that's kind of what he's held legally responsible for. So I'm just really confused on how you're justifying your vote for the man that tried to overthrow our democracy, tried to stage a coup against our government, specifically is misogynistic as all hell, was held civilly liable for rape, boasted about walking into the changing rooms of half-naked teen girls at Miss Teen USA because they own the place, said that he liked to unconsensually grab women by the P word on Access Hollywood tapes. Alicia, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for that love. And Chris, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. I appreciate y'all as well. And then even going so far as to say that you'd specifically even vote for him if he raped, imprisoned, and tortured a 13-year-old. How absolutely detestable, abominable, gross, disgusting, deplorable. And you're supposed to be a Christian. Just to point that out there, folks.
Yeah. And so, so it's really funny how Dean mentioned I'm supposed to be a Christian. So yeah, I'm not supposed to be a Christian. I am a Christian. For all the Christians in the chat, if you really think that voting for Kamala Harris is supporting Christian ideologies, don't even get me started on, first of all, how she has not in her 8 years, okay, as attorney general, while she was district attorney general in San Francisco, while she was vice president, all these times, even when she was senator, okay, we've never seen Kamala Harris propose legislation against late-term abortions, okay? So for all my Christians in here who care about, protecting the sanctity of life, for all my Christians in here who actually care about, Christianity as a religion, as a true doctrinal understanding of our reality, Kamala Harris literally posted a picture on Twitter supporting the mockery of the Last Supper, okay? Don't get me started on Kamala Harris, how she was literally involved in a scandal which allowed African Americans to go to prison for nonviolent crimes. Don't get me started on Kamala Harris, how she's been very inconsistent in her apology.
Stephanie, thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Holy shit. Stephanie, thank you so much for the love. Let's get at least 100 W Stephanies in the chat literally right now for the $50 on Venmo. That is absolutely so kind of you. Massive, massive, massive W Stephanies. I really appreciate you for that love. Let's get some fucking W's going for Stephanie in that chat right now. Thank you so much. Massive W Stephanies all all day, every day. In Georgia, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. Hey, Q-Top, real
By
quick,
the way,
you said that,
by the way,
Kamala Harris has never
Dean,
proposed
you're not
policy
gonna-
to
Dean,
limit
you're not
access to
gonna
late.
Dean, you're not going to like cut me off in the middle of
Okay.
my sentence and then
Okay.
try to like, confront. So here's the deal. So as I was saying before, Kamala Harris was involved in a scandal. You can go on the Poynter Institute. This is a well-known fact check. Website, which literally, states and shows how Kamala Harris was involved in a scandal in which there were over 1,000 cases that were tampered with under her watch because of something called the Brady policy. Kamala Harris was not giving defendants the right to have all the evidence presented that would get them exonerated. So that's what we see from Kamala Harris. She's been very insufficient with her policies. She's been very inconsistent with her policies. And quite honestly, she's despicable.
thank you for the
Just
dollar.
like the entire
I really
Biden
appreciate you for the
administration.
love.
They're despicable. And thank you so much, Jonathan, for the $5 over the Cash App.
Yeah, so the first thing that you said there was that she's never proposed policy to limit late-term abortions. Q-tip. Roe v. Wade allows states to limit late-term abortions. It only federally protects access in the first 2 trimesters.
Yeah, so but I don't know who just muted me. So what specific policy has Kamala Harris, supported or
Roe v. Wade. If he wants to reinstitute Roe v. Wade, it allows states to limit them in the 3rd trimester.
Yeah, so Dean, that's not support. That's not going against late term abortions. I don't know why you have this.
It allows states to limit and ban them.
Yeah, so I have a source here. Again, this is the Poynter Institute. Also, I have another source here. This is Snopes.com, a well-known fact check website. It's very clear here. And again, guys, matter of fact,
Yo, Lori, thank you so much for the $20 and the 24 cents on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love. I thank you so much. Let's get some massive W's for Lori in that chat. I thank you so much, Lori. Massive W, Lori's. And then another thing, there's federal legislation in 2021 called the Protection of Unborn Children's Act that specifically limits lethal abortions after 20 weeks. That was passed in 2021 federally.
So we're specifically talking about so we're specifically talking about policy that Kamala Harris has supported or instituted that protects
She wants Roe v. Wade to be reinstituted.
So Roe v. Wade is actually disgusting. Roe v. Wade is the ideology that is a constitutional right to unalive a human being. That's what Roe v. Wade is. But before we get started with that, let me go ahead and just show you, because this is Snopes.com. This is a well-known fact check website here. So you guys know I actually bring sources. I'm not just the type of individual who doesn't want to actually bring sources here and doesn't want to back up my talk. Here is Snopes.com. So this is
Jessica,
a well-known fact check website. It says,
I appreciate you for the love.
U.S. Senator Kamala Harris. Let me save this. U.S. Senator Kamala. Can you make me big screen? U.S. Senator Kamala Harris has maintained that the timing of carrying out an abortion should be left up to a woman. Harris was a co-sponsor of the 2019 Women's Health Protection Act, which prohibits.
What's the fact check rating?
What do you mean? What's the fact check rating? What do you mean? What's the fact check rating?
What does that say? Right, mixture?
Yes. What do you mean? This is not Dean. This is not Dean. Have you ever heard of Snopes.com? This is a well-known fact check political website.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh yeah.
Mixture.
So this is what they always do. So look. It's funny how you have. It's funny how you're laughing.
You want to know why it's a mixture?
It's funny how you're laughing. So guys, this is what the left always does. When I look, when you have a source that is not CNN, guys, they laugh. This is what the left always does. By the way, if you're a MAGA in here, drop me a follow. I do these lives all the time.
Are you literally just using this as a platform to self-promo while getting stomped on in a debate by me?
Yeah, so Dean.
Listen, Q-Top, I'm just going to clarify a couple points of miscommunication here. I've been quiet. I've been allowing you to speak.
If you think...
Yo, Sig, with the $50 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love.
He's not getting his money, y'all.
What? Yo, Sig, with the $50. I really appreciate you for the love. What, you think I'm lying?
$50. Pull the screenshot of $50.
Yo, bet. Yo, by the way,
everybody, my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo.
Shut the fuck up, Sig. Thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W Sigs. That is SIG. Thank you so much for the love. That is so kind of you. You said that I was lying. You said that I was lying, buddy. You said that I was lying. You're getting fucked on. You're getting...
Dean. This dude Dean is a troll.
All right, let me cover it here.
Oh man. No, Dean, but I actually do think we should actually like play a
Wait.
debate though. Wait, show me. Wait, where's it say? Okay, W's, man, W's.
Yo! Holy shit!
so look, guys,
Yo,
my cash
Sig,
app,
I
look,
appreciate
all
you.
my
Shut the fuck up. Sig, I really appreciate you. And Karina,
MAGA
thank you so
supporters,
much
we
for the
wanna
$50 on Venmo as well. I really appreciate
Wanna
you for that love,
outdo.
Karina. Let's get some massive W Karinas in that
gonna-
chat for the $50 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for that love. And Lori with the $100 on Venmo. Holy crap.
fake.
Lori, thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you, Lori. Let's get some massive W Loris down below for the $100 on PayPal. I want to get at least 200 W Loris right now in that chat for the $100 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Lori. That is absolutely so kind of you. Massive W Loris. That is insane. And Stefan, thank you for the $5 as well.
Can I ask
Holy
you a question
shit.
real quick? Yeah, so Q-Top, do you think the election was won by Trump in 2020?
Yeah, so this question is just irrelevant. I don't know who the election was won by.
You don't know? I mean, it was the most secure election in recorded history. So
No,
what
it
makes you...
wasn't.
Do you,
What-
do you
so-
know who won in 2016?
So wait 1 second. What are your conditions by which you deem an election to be secure or insecure?
Appreciate this one. Thank you so much. CISA.gov admitted that it was the most secure election in recorded history based upon fraud rate.
Yeah. So
Adam, thank you for the $5 on Venmo to make Q-Top mad. I appreciate you for the love, Adam.
thank you so much, Jonathan, for the $50.
Thank you for the hand art. Thank you.
William Shade with the $55 over on Cash App, man. W MAGA in the chat. Make America great again. Donald Trump is our hero.
Do you want to respond to what I
Trump will
just said?
save this country. Thank you so much for that $55 over on the Cash App. We will take down these liberals. Thank you so much, brother, for the $55 over Cash App. Make America great again.
Q-Top, do you want to respond to what I just said?
Yeah, so what I asked you was what was the conditions by which you deem, rather than just going off of a website, I'm asking you what are specific conditions
It
by
was on
which
a website. Do you know what CISA.gov is?
that's a government website.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so do you accept the government sources or not?
Wait, so what do you mean that it's not, wait, what do you mean that,
I'm
that it's
asking
not a
Q-Top,
website?
do you accept government sources?
Not all government sources, no.
So why don't you accept this government source?
Yeah, so I don't accept this government source for the simple fact of from the evidence that I have. First of all, I don't
make it up.
He's going to make it up.
Yeah, so thank you so much for like saying what I'm gonna do. So I don't
Melissa, thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you so much. I just did that because Q-Top did it. Thank you so much, Melissa. I really appreciate the $50. Thank you so much.
Kamala Harris is our hero.
Yeah, Kamala Harris.
that too.
Yeah. So a woman is your hero. So look,
Absolutely. Yeah, wait. So
Abso-fucking-lutely.
you think a woman can't be a hero?
yeah, so the only woman that's my hero
Do
is
you
my
think, yeah, I was about to say, do you think your mom's a hero?
yeah, so
Yeah,
I don't
so what you just said was pretty dumb.
Kamala Harris is not fit to run this country. And I'm
Okay,
just
and Donald Trump is?
yes, he is.
Did you hear him sharp mid-debate?
Okay, people have gas. Like, did you hear Joe Biden? Did you hear
okay,
Joe
did-
Biden sharp?
Oh,
Have you-
okay,
have
wait.
you
So
heard Joe-
you were arguing Joe Biden's not cognitively fit. Well, Donald Trump is not cognitively fit. He's in mental decline. He's the oldest presidential candidate in history, quite literally older than Bill Clinton, who was president 30 years ago. And you're voting for him over Kamala
Parker.
Harris,
Parker.
He
who's
also
a
actively
prosecutor when
engages
he's
in
a criminal.
logical people.
You're pro law and order, but you're voting for a criminal over a prosecutor.
Parker, listen, man. I think that you're somewhat of a smart guy, and listen, you're a logical person. So I'm going to present to you a logical syllogism. Before we get started, are you aware that Kamala Harris called individuals between that? Okay, 1 second. Are you aware that Kamala Harris called both of y'all stupid? Are you aware?
Are you aware Donald Trump called us smart and we're voting against him at masses? We mostly
yeah,
vote
Donald-
against him and he called us smart. So
Okay.
who's
Donald
really
Trump also called all
wait? So who's right
Republicans
here?
stupid.
Is it going to be Donald Trump or is it Kamala Harris? Because Kamala Harris seemingly was referencing us to be naive. I disagree with her terminology, right? But if you look at what Trump says, called us smart, we're voting against him. So we definitely are smart. We're voting against him. Damn right.
Not to mention that Trump called all Republicans stupid and said if he were to run, he'd run as a Republican.
Okay, so Trump actually said that before he actually started running, and that information, Trump's actually had Trump changed his mind. So what we saw was Trump.
Okay, Kamala changed her mind.
Wait,
No,
Trump
but
said
we
that we
had
were
no
smart.
evidence
No,
that
Trump
Kamala
said that we
changed
were
her
smart
mind.
in response to
Kamala
Kamala
never
calling.
went back-
No, in response to them talking about this clip that Kamala said that we were stupid, like 18 through 24. Like she's just referencing us being naive. which is truth in many respects. But we could also reference people who are older who are naive as it relates to fraud scams, as it relates to like being taken advantage of. So there are plenty of aspects of society where groups and communities of people, based upon their age, obviously are going to be at a greater risk of being naive towards these particular things.
Okay, so
Odyssey, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much on Cash App. Thank you so much, and Abby, thank you so much for the Galaxy.
Right.
Cordy, thank you for the $2, and Zelly, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much.
And then
So-
something else that was brought up earlier that QTOT never really responded to was like Donald Trump's active delusion during the 2020 election by denying it with no sufficient evidence, telling his VP not to certify the results of the election, sending fake electorates to seven different states to cast false votes into the Electoral College, and convincing tens of millions of American citizens that he was the true victor, even though 60 different courts proved him wrong, including 17 courts with judges that he appointed. How can you say that he's fit to serve? How can you say that he's all there, that he's cognizant, when he is engaging in active delusion and has been for the last 4 years?
Yeah, so Trump has not engaged in any active delusion. Trump is actually one of the-
Election denial.
Climate
Yeah.
denial?
Yeah, so 1 second. Denying the election is not a delusion. In fact,
Yes, it
there's many reasons why an individual would come to the conclusion that
Yeah,
this
could you give us any evidence that the
election was
2020 election
stolen.
was sufficiently rigged to be overthrown, QTOP?
Yeah, so I think this is kind of irrelevant because it has nothing to do with policy. All I'm simply saying is
No
there's
evidence,
sufficient reasons.
delusion, false
Thank you
belief about
so
reality.
much, Matt Hart, for the Galaxy. I appreciate it. MAGA. Thank you guys so much.
So there's no evidence? So that means that he assumed this to be true, no
Anthony,
evidence,
thank you
although
so
being
much for the
disproven
Let 'em
by
cook.
60 courts?
Yeah, so it's because
So that's what I call delusion.
So Dean, I'm okay with you calling anything whatever. I'm just simply saying that I don't see that as delusion. I see when it's stated that Joe Biden got more votes than Barack Obama,
Yeah,
right?
so did Trump.
I don't see that as even like when I
So
look
he just
at Barack
denies fact that like
when I
there are
look
this
up-
many votes that this candidate got. So do you
When
deny
I-
it in
Wait
2016?
for the Galaxy
Why do you not deny it in 2016? That Donald Trump got more votes than Hillary Clinton in some of these states that were relevant towards winning the election.
Yeah, because Donald Trump actually had rallies. Donald Trump actually had
Q Dizzy, thank you for the Galaxy.
He had millions of people on his side. Like I
So there
never
were
saw
millions of
that
people
from
on Joe Biden's side.
I never
That's
saw.
you're just like
I
lying
never
right now.
I've never seen a Joe Biden rally that's actually packed. Can you guys pull up any footage of a packed Joe Biden rally?
So Kamala Harris
So,
had 17,000 people at her rally like 2 days ago. In
Mark,
Atlanta,
thank you for the
Georgia.
$10. Thank you so much. And this is in the past as well. So Q-Top, you have no clue what you're talking about.
Harris, Dean. I don't know why you think these individuals were there for Kamala Harris. It's because
not what the polls say.
Quavo. It's because Quavo pulled
It's not what the
up.
polls say. It's not what
Megan,
the
she
polls
had all these like.
That's not what the polls say.
Wait, then why did
Crazy
people
people on her-
stay?
on her-
Why
on
did
her
people
platform.
stay? Because there were more people leaving Donald Trump's Las Vegas rally mid him speaking than there were people leaving that event after they were specifically done performing. I have a video, I posted it on Twitter, of literally more people leaving right while Trump was speaking. We were at the Las Vegas rally. We went there.
Thank you so much, Samantha, for the
You
$50
want to respond to what I just said?
over on the Cash App.
We
I
know
really
that's
do
not real.
appreciate that, Samantha, with the $50.
We know.
Q-Top, we know you didn't get a
Q-Top, yeah.
donation. I'm being totally real.
Okay. Do you want me to share my
Yeah,
screen?
respond to what I just said.
And before I share my screen,
Respond to what I just said.
Okay, wait 1 second. But don't make claims that I haven't received.
Enzo,
things
thank you for the
like that.
$10. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for the $10 as well. Thank you.
Venmo, PayPal in the bio, y'all, if you want
Yeah,
to support
you
either
wanna
myself or
respond?
Parker.
Yep, and Cash App is in the bio, guys. So
Wow,
look,
is that like the 10th time you've said that this conversation?
Yeah, JC, thank you for the glowing jellyfish. Parker, I'm honestly pretty convinced that like Q-Top is actually like.
I
angry
think
on
he's
this
just
topic.
like faking being MAGA to get like.
Yeah,
views.
yeah. You see, like, it's
sure.
all acts, dude.
Mustache.
Like,
Like,
Donald
what?
Trump is my hero, but he knows nothing about politics. Like, I feel bad right now, Q-Top.
Like Q-Top, can you name me one policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed that benefit the middle class more than it benefit rich people?
Lisa, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Massive W Lisa's in the chat.
yeah. So when we talk
Go
about
ahead.
okay, so actually before I even answered that question, what's
There's no
really
answer.
funny? What's really funny is the left guys. They just
Don't answer.
They
Don't
just
answer.
gaslight.
You were
right?
actively
This is
gaslighting and
this is
pivoting away from
exactly-
Parker's question.
This is exactly what we see from the left. Okay, now we can
so
talk
dumb.
policy. We can talk policy, and we
Yeah,
can.
that's
actually
why
talk
I asked you. Can you name
economics.
one?
So-
Can you name
so-
one policy that Donald Trump influenced and get passed
If you-
that
if
benefited
you
the
would-
middle class
if
more
you
so
could
than it
stop-
benefited rich people? Yes or no?
So if you could stop speaking, then I can answer you. So are y'all done? Okay. Yeah. So we could specifically talk about Trump's immigration policies. Okay. About how securing our border is strictly, this has nothing to do with the upper class. Securing our border has to do with our middle class, because when we have undocumented illegal immigrants pouring into this country to the point to where the governor of Texas is at a standoff with our administration right now. Okay. Where he writes a letter to the Biden administration, literally complaining, quote, and I have the quote here. This is literally the governor of Texas, by the way, guys. So because they don't think I'm educated on politics, I'm a political philosopher. I study this. Okay. This is the governor of Texas. Okay, quote. This is not me. This is quote the governor of Texas. He says, under President Biden's lawless border policies, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed our southern border in just 3 years. That is more than the population of 33 different states in this country. This illegal refusal to protect the states has inflicted unprecedented harm on the people across the United States. Governor of Texas, James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and the other visionaries who wrote the U.S. Constitution foresaw that states should not be left to the mercy of a lawless president who does nothing to stop external threats like cartels smuggling millions of illegal immigrants across the border. Who does this actually hurt? It hurts the middle class. When we have millions of illegal immigrants coming to this country, it hurts the middle class because they're taking away our jobs. These people are not paying taxes, and it hurts the middle class. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime in our inner cities.
How can they be taking away our jobs?
Wait, can I
while
respond
not
to all
paying
these points? He
taxes?
just made a bunch of claims. So not only do they commit crimes at lower rates than natural-born U.S. citizens, but the Congressional Budget Office and nonpartisan committee, specifically from the federal government, indicated that they are adding a huge amount to this economy. Undocumented immigrants and documented migrants by 2034, it's going to be mostly responsible for the $7 trillion increase in our economy and $1 trillion increase in governmental revenues. So not only does that help us specifically with funding things like Social Security, Medicare, dealing with our debt, which benefits the middle class, but it allows for us to like grow jobs, because it's not just they're taking away jobs. They take away jobs like me and you take away jobs, right? But they also produce demand, which creates more jobs. So it's not taking away jobs from the economy, it's net creating jobs. If you know anything about economics, immigration is not negative towards the economy, especially since we've been below replacement rates since the 1970s. So there's going to lead or yield insolvency in Social Security, Medicare, and all these other programs if there isn't like immigration to be able to ensure that the economy is growing in productive growth. So you have no clue what you're talking about. Name me one economist that specifically indicates that immigration, as it relates to these conditions, is harmful to the economy long term.
Yeah, so I can name many economists that
Name
support border security. I can pull it up for you. I don't have it off the top of my head. I don't just.
Okay.
I have policy off my head. Not.
Then give me that one policy that benefits the middle class more than it benefit rich people. You still have not mentioned it.
I just told you.
Can I ask you a question?
Trump's
I didn't. No, I want him to answer this. What's the one policy? Name it specifically. What's the one policy?
What do you mean? What's the one policy?
Name the one policy that benefits the middle class more.
It's immigration.
Rosanna,
reform.
thank you for the 5.
Name the one policy.
It's border policy. When you say what policy?
Wait. What border policy?
My gosh, stricter border control, the wall, the
That's
travel
not a policy
ban,
name.
all these things.
That's not a policy name. What policy name are you
Say a
referencing?
policy name.
Yeah,
The
give me the
travel
policy
ban,
name.
stricter border. But when you say policy name,
Are you saying the travel ban on Muslims?
Do you want to, sir? Do you
Are you backing a
understand?
Muslim ban, which is religious persecution?
Yeah. So So, Parker,
Bro!
obviously you don't care about
That's
religious
crazy.
persecution when you support someone who literally posted a picture on Twitter mocking Christianity.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
yeah. Oh my gosh,
Oh my
exactly.
gosh.
So this is
mocking
the
Christianity.
hypocrisy.
What picture?
This is the
What picture?
hypocrisy that we see.
What picture?
Twitter-
Wait.
I can pull it up.
So he didn't try to legally
I can pull it up
restrain
for you.
people of a particular faith from
I can
coming
pull it
into the
up for you.
country. Donald Trump wants to legally restrain people who are Muslim from coming to the country. That's what he said. He said a complete and total shutdown of Muslims coming to the country.
so
That is religious persecution.
what the
You
travel
saying,
ban-
oh my
that's
God,
not what
they
the
might have
travel ban-
made fun of us is crazy as
That
fuck.
wasn't what
When
the
Donald
travel
Trump
ban was.
mocks you on a
That's
daily
a total-
basis, when he quite literally has lied consistently about the election, denies climate change, cheated on all of his wives, last one when she was pregnant, said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, says he has sex in common with his daughter, says it's okay for him to walk into changing rooms of naked teenage girls because he quote-unquote owns the place, right? All of this fucking shit. Right, him being held legally responsible for sexual abuse, defamation, fraud, having 34 felonies. Do you think that gives a good representation of Christianity, Q-Top?
Yeah, so I want to make sure.
Yes.
Yes?
You think that? This guy,
Oh
bro.
my God,
Yeah,
this
so
guy.
can you
I have a
guys
question
stop?
relating back to
Well,
earlier
can I-
too.
can I
Wait, I want him to
I
respond to this,
ask
Dean, real
it.
quick. Hold on, hold on.
Can I
Okay.
please speak? Because
I
y'all
just,
been
don't,
doing.
I just don't want to lose the
Yeah,
track.
so God, this is like what we see from the left. So like y'all just kind of keep like monologuing and y'all not even letting me speak. So the travel ban had actually nothing to do with Trump just discriminating against Muslim people.
Do you want me to play the clip? I'll play the clip of him saying, "I want a complete and total shutdown of Muslims."
The travel ban literally it denotes a series of executive actions taken by the U.S. president that restricted entry into the United States by certain foreign nationals. Okay, beginning with the executive orders 13769 issued on January 27, 2017. So it's not just Muslim
Trump
people.
is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until
so
our
why do-
country's representatives
Damn.
can figure out what the hell is going on.
So okay, so
Donald
why?
J. Trump is calling for a total and complete
what's the-
shutdown of Muslims entering the United States.
So okay,
So you have
can
no
stop-
clue
you
what
can
the
stop
fuck you're
playing.
talking about.
You
You're
can
just
stop playing.
grifting.
Yeah. So thank you, Parker, for your delusional statement of
You,
reality.
you said you said it was not
but-
targeted towards Muslims. I just played a
Yeah.
clip of it, Donald
Yeah,
Trump
so-
literally saying it's applicable to Muslims
Are you gonna
specifically.
let me, can I speak? Can I
Yeah, go
speak?
for it.
Okay, yeah. So if you actually understood the context of what he was saying, yes,
what's the
Muslim-
context?
yes, right. Which I've never stated against here. Yes, this ban, okay, was predominantly geared toward Muslim people because these individuals, with the war that was going on, were bringing crime into our country.
Give me any
Well, we
source that
understand-
indicates they commit a higher rate of crime than natural-born U.S. citizens,
Look, can I-
right?
can I-
Or alt-right domestic terrorists.
Can I finish the thought? So
Yeah, no,
so
respond. Give me
it
the
was
source that indicates
predominantly-
they are more likely to commit crime.
1 second. This is not more likely to commit crime. This is
Wait, you just
illegal.
said they're bringing
This is-
crime.
They are bringing crime. I never
So is
said-
tourism. Tourism
I never-
brings crime.
Okay.
Donald
but
Trump
that's
brings
not
crime.
even-
He's a criminal.
Okay, Parker, so that's not even the main problem. The main problem is a justice problem. Okay? It is not fair for individuals who came into this country the correct way, for individuals who actually waited their turn, for individuals who literally went through all the specific tests and protocol that it takes to come to this country, for us to have millions of illegal immigrants coming into this country. Whether no illegal immigrant,
We're not even referencing
whether no
immigration.
illegal
you understand that we're
immigrant-
not even referencing
whether
immigration.
can I please?
It's like
finish
saying
the
it's
thought?
unfair to provide universal
so
health
it's-
care because
it's
other
really
people had to
funny.
pay for it. This is like
It's
saying it's
really-
unfair to provide police because in the past
really-
people had to fight for themselves.
Okay.
It's
It's
like
really-
saying it's
it's really
unfair to
funny.
ensure that there are societal conditions
It's really
to produce
funny that y'all
quality
have
of
to
life increases
steamroll
because
here.
people in the past didn't have those
It's
quality
really
of life
funny
increases.
It's really funny that Dean had to bring up his daddy and y'all had to steamroll here. It's literally a 2v1. Like, I have no problem with engaging with like one of you, but when one person starts to talk
haven't
and then the other
talked.
person starts to talk, like it's really annoying. Dean, you have been talking. So
Brother, with all due
you're just
respect-
mad you're getting cooked. You're just mad you're
I'm
getting
not-
cooked.
yeah.
Brother,
So if
brother,
you-
with all
so
due
if-
respect,
if you
Q-Top,
think-
I've been
if you
sitting,
think I'm
I've been
getting
sitting
cooked,
back,
you're-
raising my
you're-
hand,
you're-
like waiting to speak.
Wait,
I've been
Park,
like
one
literally
second. If
raising
you
my
think-
hand since you started to speak on immigration. I haven't said a word.
Rory, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much. Your dogs don't like Q-Top, but neither do I. Sean, thank you so much for the $1. Carly, thank you for the $5. Sean, thank you for the 50 cents. And Jessica, thank you for the $10. Gen Z Forward, thank you for the $25 on Cash App. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So you guys see
Like
how
if,
they're
like
not
if anything,
addressing policy?
Q-Top, I would like to engage.
I
Nobody
in
addressed
addressing
policy. You
policy.
couldn't name me a single one that benefit the middle class more than it benefit rich people.
Okay, so
Like I haven't
now-
even.
now that you've
I
asked
still,
all
I
your
still have my
questions-
question from earlier.
Yeah,
Like,
so I
haven't-
haven't. So perfect. So how this debate goes is Parker and Dean just steamroll me with questions, and I can't ask anything. Is that how this is gonna go? Because I haven't asked a single question. Like,
Yeah.
is that how this is gonna go? Just
You could
Parker
go-
and Dean
you
just
could
steamroll
go-
with questions.
you could go ahead and
okay,
ask
so
a
so here's my question. If Kamala was found to be inconsistent on her policy reform, would you still vote for her?
What
Like
specific
on what
policy?
Yeah, the fact that she proposed strict criminal justice reform policies that allowed many African Americans to be put behind bars. Her criminal justice reform policies. In
What
fact,
reform specifically?
when she was district attorney, what do you mean? What reform specifically?
Yeah, just tell me the reform specifically.
I can get you the name of it. Just give me a
Evan,
second.
thank you for the $6.66.
I can get
Yeah.
you. The name, I can get you the name of what I can get you. I mean, all
Yeah,
this
I think
stuff.
that we just need to know the name of the policy and what it did.
Yeah.
But like also specifically, I don't think that like changing your mind as you learn more and 10 years passes by is like a bad thing at all.
Yeah, like JD
for
Vance,
instance-
your literal fucking vice president, said that Trump is America's Hitler.
Yeah, and now he's serving his VP nomination. Evan, thank you for the $6.66 on Venmo. I had a question from like a
Wait,
long
one second.
time
One
ago.
second. Can I pull up
I've
this
been wanting to ask you a
Okay.
question for like the last 15 minutes.
1 second. Can I just pull up this information? Because y'all.
Yeah,
y'all-
sure.
don't come with
We could
any- y'all
put
don't
it off
come with-
more.
Y'all don't come with like any facts, and it's just really obvious that you guys are just totally misinformed. Like you guys are just incompetent and misinformed.
You haven't been able to mention
Like,
any
I-
responses to what I said. You're literally a flat earther,
definitely-
Q-Top.
I definitely have. Yeah, I definitely have. So yeah, we could talk about that, but y'all can't prove that the Earth is round. So I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, so he not only is a flat earther, but he would vote for Donald Trump even if he raped
Hi,
little
Nick.
kids.
So he loves.
He also is like
So
crazy
Kamala
Delulu
Harris-
beliefs
so
as it relates
Kamala
to
Harris-
children's age of consent. Like he's like trying to hit all the bad views.
So
I'm gonna honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and ask my question now. Earlier you said that both
her marijuana legislation. Thank you so much, JK.
You have to kick him now. He can't say that word. Yeah.
Q-Top
Yeah,
have,
Q. You can't say that word. You get age restricted whenever you do that.
and you have other accounts. Hop back in the queue.
Yeah, hop on your other account, join in. We'll finish this conversation.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll finish it
probably
right
go
now.
start my own live here.
Yeah, but I mean, well, the question I wanted to ask him is he was saying that immigrants were coming to our country and taking our jobs and they weren't paying taxes. How can you work a W-5 job and not pay taxes? Actually, as they would not be citizens, they want to be able to file for a tax return, meaning they'd be paying more in taxes. Like, that was just what I was curious about. I was trying to ask him about that entire time. I guess in the meantime, we'll go ahead and bring up someone else. Let's see if he comes back, Parker. How's your day going, man?
It's going good.
Oh yeah, what's up? Keeping up? Just got you up here in the meantime until Q-Top comes back. Are you voting for Trump?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to join. I was just watching.
You're good. You're good. Don't worry.
No worries, no worries. What do you think the chances are that he'll end up coming back?
Very low. Doesn't Q-Top owe Parker money? Yep. Yep. Chances does.
What's up, Adam? How old are you? Adam,
Oh,
hi.
I'm 39.
Nice, man. Are you voting for Trump?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we're just going to have you up here until Q-Top comes back. We could even keep you on the panel. But yeah, so why specifically are you voting for Trump?
So I am a veteran of the Navy. Before you try to steamroll me with a bunch of your essay and great propaganda that's actually talk about why I'm actually here.
Propaganda? What do you
Right?
mean
You're
propaganda?
Because
delusional. Yeah, so Trump is a
Don't go-
rapist.
don't go there,
He-
Parker.
He raped Eugene Carroll in the year
Just-
1996.
no.
Hey, Adam.
I'm not-
Adam.
Hey,
Adam,
I'm
I've
not
been
gonna-
barely
I'm not
able to
gonna
speak on my
participate
own
in
live.
it. You asked me why I was voting for Trump. I'm stopping you before you go into your main talking points because I'm here to tell you why I'm voting for Trump. I'm not here to
You
talk
called
about
you called it
anything else
propaganda, sir.
other than why I am.
I just asked you, what does it mean?
So-
What does that mean?
That said, no, I'm not going there. Just stop.
Also,
So
Q-Top,
that's it.
I see you. I'm
I
gonna
was
invite
just
you.
asking you the question of what it means. Why are you so like fucking
Okay.
like, annoyed?
I invited you, Q-Top.
Who hurt you, bro?
No, we can go into that at another time. You asked me why. So, one thing that you never do is you never talk about Donald Trump championing the forever GI Bill. So George Bush championed the post 9/11 GI Bill, which enhanced GI Bill benefits to veterans because there was a surplus of money. President Obama signed an executive order stopping the post 9/11 GI Bill and changing the benefits. President Trump championed the Forever GI Bill, which strictly benefited the middle class, strictly benefited our veterans.
Then
strictly
President Biden
benefited-
invested $800 million into expanding
Hold up.
VA healthcare benefits to over 1 million
Hold up.
veterans.
Hold up. We're not talking about
podcast?
Biden. Biden is not on the ticket. We're not talking about Biden.
Biden
You asked me
It's
why
the
I was voting for
Biden-Harris
Trump.
administration. But
Listen,
yeah, so
you asked me
obviously
why
I would
you asked me why I voted for, or I'm voting for Trump. I'm telling you, Biden's policy
do we get to
means
respond
nothing
or?
to why. No, because you never give anybody else a minute to respond.
No, they don't give anyone a chance to speak at
So-
all. And it's funny.
so
they just they have false
realistic-
We literally have been. You
realistically
guys are just like
speaking-
mad for no reason.
No. Realistically speaking, the only reason why veterans can now pass on their GI Bill forever to their children. The only reason why STEM degrees now have more investment because it takes longer to get a STEM degree than a traditional degree is because of Donald Trump. The only reason why toxic burn pits were banned is because Trump championed the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act. But Biden likes to take credit for it because it.
Mo, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I
Congress
appreciate you for the love, Mo.
whenever
Thank you for the
he
$5.
Eventually got it passed, but it was championed in 2019 under Trump's presidency. So for me, as a veteran, for me that can watch other veterans that don't use their GI Bill pass that on to their children, for me as a physicist that used my GI Bill to become a physicist.
Do you mind if we hop in here, Adam? You're
Yeah,
kinda
give
talking
me,
for a while.
give me one second. For me as a physicist that used my GI Bill to become a physicist, to see that STEM degrees now get more money under the GI Bill so that they can actually finish their degree is a very, very influential policy on the middle class. Because would you agree, Dean or Parker, that veterans are middle class for the most part?
Yeah, a lot of veterans are middle class, and I do agree that this would benefit the middle class within certain respects, but it's a portion of the middle class. So I think that you need to reference policy that would benefit a vast amount of Americans as it relates to the context of the middle class. Right?
Okay,
That would be
so I
beneficial
can't.
to it. Can I please finish my response?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm not going to dispute. I would say that there are things that Donald Trump has done as it relates to the context of veterans that I do agree with. I wouldn't dispute that. But as it relates to this, things have been expanded under the Biden-Harris administration, and there's going to be even greater investment in things as it relates to the colleges, specifically under the context of Democrats, because they want two-year community college. They want people to be able to, for medical degrees, for STEM and
Q-Top,
stuff,
go on to
to
another
also be able to
account
get
and request
access
back.
to free public universities. That's what Democrats have been advocating for, which expands access to education in this country. So if you want to talk about education, right, where are Republicans and specifically talking about this? It seems like it's only in relation to benefiting veterans. And I agree, benefits for veterans are good. I'm not disputing that. But what about applying these things to the rest of the country as well?
Also, Q-Top, go into another account
Yeah,
and
well-
request back. You got a flag.
I firmly agree with you, Parker, in that we should be investing in education. We should be, and I don't want to hear the argument that Trump wants to get rid of the Department of Education. As a former educator myself,
He really does. He wants to dismantle
no,
the Federal Board
I'm
of
saying that
Education,
that's
and he
I'm saying
specifically
that
wants
that's
to
not
reduce
part,
federal funding sent to public schools. on
I'm
the
saying
basis
that's
of
not part
vaccine
of my
mandates.
argument, though. I'm telling you that's not part of my argument.
So you disagree with Trump trying to do that?
Your argument, I think that it should be mandated in a much better fashion. As a former educator myself that has dealt with a lot of the politics of education, I would tell you firsthand that the politics of education are handled in a very hostile way without throwing certain people that might be viewers under the bus that could be educators or could be involved in education policy making. I'm not saying that I agree that the Department of Education should be completely disbarred, but I do believe that there should be some mandation and maybe a Senate oversight committee that actually looks into what we can do to either.
Hey, man, earlier you said that there was propaganda about Trump being a rapist. I just want to let you know that that was false. So,
Okay,
I mean,
that's
just saying
fine.
that.
I told you
saying-
that I didn't. I told you I didn't want to talk about that part of the conversation at all. So
Right, but I just wanted-
I wanted to
I
stop.
just-
Can I ask you why?
I wanted to stop because you asked me why I was voting for him. Right? You asked me why.
Yeah,
And
I
wanted
think
to stop
us
you
asking
from-
this question of why would you vote for someone who's been held legally responsible for sexual abuse,
Listen,
defamation, fraud?
there you go again. Okay, so what I said was, I'm voting for policy that impacts me as a human, that impacts me directly. Something else that impacts me directly is the fact that my daughter is a lesbian. I'm so proud that she was able to come out to me. And Donald Trump was the one that worked to decriminalize homosexuality across the globe. Nobody else was speaking out about the injustices that were happening across the world in our
Democrats have been advocating against injustices
after
around the world.
after Donald
But you
Trump.
understand, Donald Trump has been opposed to gay marriage for a very long time.
No,
Right. Then
no,
also,
no, no, no,
then also,
no,
there's
no, no.
another good point that
No,
should be
no, no.
made here.
Donald Trump
Trump
Sir,
wants
I
to
can
read-
show you various clips
Donald
of him
Trump
saying
has
he's
been
opposed
on
to it.
record multiple times on video saying
that he's against
that
it.
is not how I conduct business. I do not like other men. I like women, but it is okay.
Also,
Yeah,
Donald Trump wants to.
but he doesn't want there to be gay marriage.
He wants
Okay,
to
and-
reinstitute
and he
Christian
wants to-
nationalism. He wants to put Bibles back in schools. He wants people to be learning from the Ten Commandments. He wants to put God back in the classroom. Where the reinstitution of traditional Judeo-Christian ideals, putting God back in the school, right? You understand that this will only lead to more oppression of the LGBTQ plus community. And I don't know how this isn't more talked about, or how you can't see this
I'll
yourself.
be right back, Dean.
Okay, bet. Obviously, there's going to be traditional values that would stand against two men getting married, and traditional
what's interesting?
Christians would particularly speak out against that. And
You know
you're
what's
telling me
interesting?
that you want this to be reinstituted into our government, into our schools, into our forms of education, so
You know what's
more
interesting,
individuals are
Dean?
socially indoctrinated into holding these beliefs. That would only further perpetuate marginalization against the LGBTQ plus community, including your daughter.
You know what's interesting is my daughter goes to a Catholic school.
Your daughter goes to a Catholic
my
school that
lesbian
specifically holds
daughter
values that would
goes
say
to a
that she's
Catholic
inherently
school,
wrong for a
and
trait that she didn't choose, nor can she change.
No, she is not discriminated against in her school whatsoever.
Oh,
She's
okay,
not,
I'm sorry.
Not at all.
Okay,
She goes to a Catholic school, so I know it's anecdotal.
how would you know? How would you know?
Because I talk to my daughter on a daily basis, and she shares everything with me. When she had her first period, I was the person she talked to, not her mother. Right? When she came out, I was the person that she asked if I'd go to dinner with her girlfriend because she came to me. Nobody else.
Are you
Because
saying that
she tells me
the Christian
everything that happens in her life?
Are you saying that the Christian? Okay, so actually, the Catholic Church, specifically speaking, does not recognize two men getting married as legitimate. The Catholic Church upholds very
that's
strict
fine.
values and conformity specifically to the normative power of the Catholic Church fathers and the apostolic succession of the popes and bishops and other forms of clergy that specifically do not recognize any relationships outside of that of a man and a woman as being legitimate. So are you telling me if these values are reinstituted within our government, schools, and other institutions, that this will not further perpetuate marginalization against members of the LGBTQ plus community?
Listen, it is absolutely a false narrative that just because one thing happens, the rest is going to happen, right? You are predicating what will happen in this country based on whether
What
or
has
not
already
there will
happened
be
and what is currently
Christianity in
believed.
schools.
I'm literally telling you what
So,
values
so I
are
would
recognized as
like-
being legitimate or illegitimate. The Catholic Church specifically does not recognize that as being legitimate. In fact, they think it's detestable. They think it's abominable. They think it's a sin, right? And they do not think that that is something worth of value or respect. And they they think that you're going to hell. I mean, and this is what the Catholic Church teaches because of the things that I just listed to you. This has historically been the case. This is why JY marriage was only legalized within 2009, the late 2010s. And Ruth, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. I really appreciate
Have
you
seen
for
all
the
the
love.
people who think I'm Parker Short?
I have seen a lot of that.
Dude, that was
Let's get a
kinda
lot of
funny.
W Roos in that chat. Thank you for the $20. And then specifically that's why it was legalized so late. And already still this is something that traditionalists speak out about today because of their Christian values. I think it's incredibly
completely
absurd and
agree.
honestly ignorant and honestly delusional for you to assume that the reinstitution of Christian nationalism wouldn't lead to further persecution of people that aren't straight. Are you legitimately saying that is
Okay,
false?
first of all, nobody at all in the Trump campaign has spoken to bringing Christian nationalism. You're going a little too far.
False. He literally says he wants to put God back in the classroom. He says
That
he
is
wants
not-
to put God back in our nation, and he's going to be the most Christian president that we've had in modern U.S. history to
That's not
reinstitute Christian
nationalism.
ideals.
That's not Christian nationalism. right?
Okay, so you're talking about anything but what is relevant. That being, if we reinstitute these Christian ideals into our institutions and perpetuate like these ideals to a further extent, and I'm specifically saying that he wants all the Christians to go out and vote for him, and everything's going to be fixed, so they're never going to have to vote again because they're going to be super okay with the way that the system is ran. Are you saying that this won't reinstitute like anti-LGBTQ plus ideals into our society at a greater extent than it already is?
That's merely speculative. You have nothing to base that on. You
No, I
have,
have history to base that on.
you have
I have
zero
history to base that
empirical
on.
data. Zero.
That's a lie. That is false. You are lying.
Okay,
That
show
is
me
a
the
delusion.
empirical data that supports exactly what you just said. If you can
Yes.
show me empirical data,
The doctrine of the
shows-
Catholic Church not recognizing relationships between two men or two women as being legitimate, and specifically recognizing sex outside of two men,
Jesus
outside of a
Christ.
man and a woman, as being of the devil, right? And specifically empirical evidence. that
Jesus
being that
Christ.
that's empirical evidence. What the fuck are you talking about?
that is not empirical. Do you know what empirical evidence is?
Yes, of course, I do. I do know what empirical evidence is, and that is
Okay,
empirical evidence
show
that
me
Christian ideals do
the
not support
empirical
this.
evidence. The burden of proof is on
Catholic
you.
doctrine.
The
Literally
burden of
Catholic
proof is
fucking
on you.
doctrine. Leviticus,
Nobody
okay,
said that they
bro.
want ca-
Leviticus,
nobody-
the Leviticus 18:22. If someone is
Easy,
gay,
Turbo.
stone him.
Easy, Turbo.
Leviticus.
Nobody
Shut
said
the
they
fuck
wanted-
up, Adam. Shut
Oh,
your, bro. Shut the fuck up.
Bro.
Amanda, thank you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you for that. Let's get some W Amandas in the chat for the $20 on Venmo. You are absolutely you're such an ignorant child, okay? Leviticus 18:22, it calls for the deaths of anyone who isn't straight. Leviticus 20:13 does the same exact thing. Genesis 1:19 specifically calls for God saying that he wants to unalive these cities because
Okay,
of like
so
increases in the amount of
you are-
homosexuality within the cities. Romans 1, 24 through 32 specifically is saying that there was sexual immorality in the sense of men engaging in intercourse with other men in ancient Roman cities, and you specifically calling that immoral, saying it was of the devil. 1 Corinthians 6 through 9 calling for the same thing. 1 Timothy calling through the same thing. The particular Catholic doctrine from the Catholic Church that is specifically upheld as the word of God due to the apostolic succession of the church fathers, right? Because of the normative powers of the church. And you're telling me that this isn't empirical evidence to justify my claim that yes, members of the LGBTQ plus community will not be further persecuted if this is legitimately put into our like institutions? You're delusional. Like, that is absolutely the worst take I've ever heard. You gotta unmute your mic, buddy. Click on your profile picture and click the icon of the mic.
Yeah, I got it. Somebody muted me, and they unmuted me and then muted me again. So again, like, you are taking the argument and you are twisting it in a way that works for you, and that's okay because we all do it, right? I will accept
What
that
are
you're
you
doing it.
saying?
No, just chill, all right? You're taking the argument, you're twisting it the way that you want. You are using letters to certain groups of people from the Bible and applying that as empirical evidence for 6,000 years later. That's not empirical
Adam,
evidence, my
can you
friend.
define
There was
empirical
no
evidence for me, please?
there was no Department of Education. There was no United States of America. There was no President of the United States of America. That kind of doctrine that existed and was written to a specific group of people, not for every Christian to hold as their law, is not empirical evidence for what would happen if Christianity went back into schools. I'm not even saying that I support Christianity going back into schools. I was just arguing that my
Wait,
daughter.
so when the Bible
being
says that
enough-
being GAY is
Can we
wrong, it
define
doesn't mean
empirical
that being
evidence
GAY
real
is
quick?
wrong? Yeah,
Adam,
let's
what's the
define that.
definition of empirical evidence?
Bro, I'm a goddamn physicist, right? Like, you want to talk evidence? You want to talk data? You want
I'm just
to
asking you what empirical
like-
evidence is.
Come on, bro. Like, I'm not going down this rabbit hole with you. What I wanted to do was come on
You
and
can't
tell
even
you.
define what
Can you
empirical
define
evidence
empirical
is.
evidence,
Jesus.
please?
I'm not going down your rabbit hole, okay? You're not going to demean me and act
You're not
like
getting
you
demeaned,
are.
you're getting dunked on.
Nobody dunked on me. Are you fucking kidding me?
Adam, what's
You're
the
out of
first
your
law?
goddamn tree
What's,
if you
what's
think
the
that
first law of
somebody
Newtonian
dunked on
physics?
me. You
What's
think?
what's the first law of Newtonian physics?
Oh my God! You're asking me the first law. You just get the fuck out of here, right? Like,
Just asking. Can you answer the question?
bro. Like, you realize that I am.
What's the first law?
Bro. Chill. Like,
Bro, you're incoherent. You're actually incoherent, Adam. You're incoherent if you think that yes, it is upheld via Christian traditions of both the
I'm
Catholic and
incoherent.
Protestant and Orthodox like values that being GAY is wrong. You're incoherent if you don't believe that. You're incoherent if you don't believe
Listen,
that Leviticus
did I
18,
ever-
22,
did
Leviticus
I-
20, 13,
what- hold
Genesis
up.
1:19, Romans
Hold up.
1:24 through 32, 1 Corinthians 6:9, then all of 1 Timothy doesn't
Bro,
specifically
I
speak
just
out against the
literally
nuclear family
told
structure
you-
between a man and a woman, and anything against
Bro.
apart from that is wrong. You're absolutely
Dean, chill.
incoherent if you think that Christian nationalism does not call for the further persecution
Dean,
the LGBTQ plus
chill.
community. You're incoherent earlier when you said that
Dean,
no,
chill.
Trump is not a rapist, and that was specifically propaganda is perpetuated by the left, even though it's been proven in a court of law. I thought that you were
Dean.
part of the. Well, I thought you were
Dean.
part of the party that called for law and order. You're incoherent because you're saying that you're a
Dean, chill.
physicist, yet you can't. Yet you can't name the first law of Newtonian physics. You're incoherent because you can't define empirical evidence. You're incoherent because you actively contort the reality around you and deny the facts to fit your narrative. And it's just insane.
I don't
honestly.
have a narrative. I didn't have a narrative at all when I came on here. Now, be real, right? You're the one that has a narrative that you are trying to enforce, right? I
Eddie,
didn't have
thank
a
you for the
narrative.
$25 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for that love, Eddie. Massive W, Eddie, in the chat for the $25 on PayPal.
Dude,
Thank
I'm
you
just
so
kind of
much.
mad that you lied to us about being a physicist.
You asked me why
For
I was
real.
voting for
Eddie,
Trump.
thank you for the love.
I didn't-
W Eddie's in the
I didn't
chat.
twist anything, right?
W
I didn't-
Eddie's, y'all.
I didn't push a false narrative. I told you why I was voting for Trump. I
Girl,
told
you said you're
why
a
it
physicist and you couldn't
specifically-
name the first law of Newtonian physics. Bro, come on.
Bro, LinkedIn is your friend, right? If you don't want to believe me, LinkedIn is your friend. Okay? Like,
You just want to answer the question?
I'm not resorting to childish questions with you about the very basis of physics that I used to teach to middle school students. And then I taught to high school students.
Apparently, you don't remember much of that.
Oh yeah, you're right. You've got me. I don't know anything about physics. I send satellites to space every day, but I don't know anything about
Come on,
physics.
can you just tell me the first law?
You've got me nailed, Parker. Come on, you've got me nailed. Like
I just want to know the first law.
You won, my friend. While Dean's away, Parker, because I'm not entertaining your childish ways. I want you, because I'm interested, because I have good things to say about Kamala. I want you to tell me, Kamala. Sorry, I apologize. I apologize. Right? I apologize. If I said her name wrong, I apologize, because I have accountability for my actions. So, can you tell me, because I will say good things about her. Can you tell me what she did as vice president, and then I'll tell you what I know she did as a vice president that was good, and I'll tell you what I think was good about her as a vice president that could support her running as a president that is never talked about for some reason. So please, and do not tell me that she broke the most tie-breaking votes in history, because that is her job, and that's great. Like, her first job as president of the Senate, that's her job to do that. So
he just mentioned
congrats.
You just mentioned something that she did.
No, I'm asking you to say something.
Specifically, the tie-breaking vote on the nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first black woman
No.
on the Supreme Court.
Listen, I'm asking you to not tell me about tie-breaking votes, because it's kind of cringe, because it's just her job. It would be a de facto job regardless of who was doing it.
I want you to understand that when you say, what did she do? I'm telling you something that she did. What are you asking for? Like, something that she did that she couldn't do as a vice president? Like, this is a dumb fucking question, Adam.
No, it's absolutely not. Okay, I'll tell you what she did. No. I'll tell you what she did. I'll tell you that she championed maternal health care and increased maternal health care. And that's a wonderful thing that she did. And I support the fact that she did that. But you can't speak to that.
You're just saying that she
wait.
You're just saying that she influenced policy. I've already said that a million times. There's a video on my account I just posted of me saying that.
She did like tens of thousands of
That's
grassroots.
also her job too, isn't it? To advocate for policy she believes in.
I'm saying,
don't name things that are a part of her job.
Bro, all I said was do not cite tie-breaking votes, because that's like the cringiest of the cringe, because it's a de facto position.
Because I told you specifically. I told you specifically.
Every vice president. I asked you.
Every vice president, something that falls onto them is to support particular legislation that they believe in.
Bro, it's like what I'm saying is,
Adam, can you tell me
literally
one
a
thing that
de facto
Biden
job.
did?
One thing that
As vice
Biden
president?
did as vice president, I am actually not fully aware of some of the policies that Biden did as vice
Can you name
president.
me one thing Mike Pence did?
Yeah, actually, I can. He championed the Space Force, which a lot
So
of
you're
people
just
in the
saying
chat-
you're just saying policy he proposed. So not only can I mention like the fact that she
No, no, no,
supported
no,
the
no, no, no.
bipartisan infrastructure bill,
Mike,
the Chips
no.
and Science Act, the PACT Act, the
Bro.
Inflation Reduction Act.
Okay, I'm asking you. I like don't get bent out of shape, right? I asked
Bonnie,
you.
thank
I
you for
literally
$3 on
no,
Venmo.
Parker,
Adam, you're honestly like quite annoying.
Parker,
Adam, was there
Parker,
anything
chill a
else
little
you want
bit
to go
because
over?
I asked you legitimately.
Why are
What
you
did she
telling me
do that
chill?
was good?
I'm totally
And
chill.
I said that I would say things that she did that was good. I wasn't even supporting any kind of narrative. I asked you to tell me because you focus so much on the tie-breaking de facto part of her job and don't focus on the things that she actually did. Like all
Those
of
are
her
things she
grassroots
did.
work.
Dude,
no,
this
no,
guy's so
listen.
lost.
I'm talking good about your fucking candidate. What the hell is wrong with
And I'm answering your question. You're not seeing it because you're dense.
Yeah, hey Adam, I'm gonna just ask you to like stop being dense and try to engage in conversation, or I'm just gonna kick you. Like you're honestly like annoying the shit out of me. Like you weren't able to engage in conversation with me about Christian nationalism, too dense to even entertain someone that disagrees with you. You're not able to entertain Parker about a conversation right now about what Kamala has or hasn't done. You weren't able to entertain conversation about like you being a physicist or why you're voting for Trump or why you think the fact that he raped Eugene Carroll is propaganda. Like you are a fucking
Yeah, he said that.
brick wall.
Like nothing he says that he'll back up.
Yeah, like you're just saying shit, not backing it up, and then like just refusing to engage in critique from the other side of the.
Dean,
From the
you
other side
walked
of the
away.
aisle.
You walked. No. Dean, you walked away, and I started a conversation with Parker. Okay, the big boys were talking.
Oh lord,
We were having a
You think
conversation.
you're a big boy?
I'm a
Absolutely.
big boy.
Yep, and Parker's a big boy too, right?
Oh,
no,
but,
we were
but the host of
grown-ups-
this stream isn't.
the
Yeah,
grown-ups.
you're a little boy.
But like
The
the host
grown-ups-
of this stream isn't.
Yeah, the grown-ups were talking.
I'm
When
half
you-
your age, twice as wise, motherfucker. What about it?
Twice as wise. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
You better
but
wake up.
wait. Why do
You
you think
bet-
I'm a little boy?
You bet. Because you fucking admitted it to older millennial. Like we were there. All of us were there.
I actually was the one who said
Shit.
it. I bet you still follow him, even though he literally called Dean a target. He said he wants to unalive mentally disabled people by throwing them off a mountain.
Listen, I'm not.
I bet you
I'm
still
not a
follow him after
supporter.
that. So
I'm
if I
not
go
a
to your
supporter.
following list right now,
Nope.
is he going to be there?
I'm not a
Melody,
supporter of
thank you for the
millennial. I
$19
literally-
on Venmo for Dean's 19 years of life experience. Thank you so much for the love, Melody. Let's get some W Melodies in that comment section. Thank you for the
Yeah, let's
love.
get a W Melanie.
Like Adam, I just
literally-
I don't understand like the rhetoric, bro. Like I'm just here, I'm being
Dude,
real,
I don't
I'm
have
being honest,
rhetoric.
and then it's like, oh,
I
as
don't
soon
have
as
any
like
rhetoric,
as soon as I'm
man.
being honest
Like,
with you, it hurts your
that's-
feelings, and you're like, oh, you're a kid.
Oh no! I said that we were talking whenever you walked away. You told me that I wouldn't engage in this conversation. You walked away during the conversation, and I started a new one with Parker because he's level-headed and can actually answer questions and can actually talk to me whenever I actually bring up points. You step all over people's toes on a regular basis, and you weren't willing to listen to what I actually had to say. You took why I was voting for Trump, and you twisted it and started trying to steamroll me, and it didn't work. You just went on and on and on. You cited 6,000-year-old biblical text as empirical evidence and expected me to actively engage in that kind of conversation. It wasn't going to happen because I was literally sitting here coming into your live and saying, this is why I'm voting for Trump. I was super respectful. I told you exactly why. I told you how it benefited me. I told you how it benefited a certain portion of the middle class. I told you how it directly impacted the people that I know and love. And
Hey, so first of all, Adam, you didn't
gave me
answer
shit
the,
for it.
Yeah, so first of all, Adam, you didn't answer the question why you think the idea that Trump is a rapist is propaganda. You didn't answer the question what the first law of Newtonian physics is. You didn't answer the question. Karen, thank you for the $10 in PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get some massive W Karens for the $10 on PayPal. I really appreciate you. Let's get some W's. You didn't answer the question about traditionalism and what you typically deem as like typical traditional Christian values. You've answered nothing. And I bet if I asked you to name one question that I haven't answered, you wouldn't be able to say jack fucking shit, okay? And then also, yes, I did cite a
By the way,
6,000
when
year
you
old
first
book.
came on the live, you were like pretty rude with us. Just gonna let you know.
Yeah, then also, if you knew anything about your Bible, you'd know.
No,
specifically
when
the
I
New
first
Testament.
when I first came
If you knew anything about your Bible, you'd specifically know that the New Testament verses that I cited about like these traditional Christian values are not 6,000 years old, as our earliest manuscripts from the New Testament actually date back to 150 AD, right? So you just don't know your shit. You don't know anything about your text. And obviously I'm going to reference, right, your text that Christians would dictate their morality off upon to demonstrate why we typically see persecution of members of the LGBTQ+ community at the hand of the Christian church. Like, use your brain. But he actually ran. I don't know. Parker, I know that you came up here to debate Q-Top. I don't think he's coming back. When he came up...
Yep. I'm going to probably go start my live here.
All right, bet. Sounds good, bro.
All right. Well, it was good seeing everyone. Love y'all so much. Tap that screen, everyone. Get up to, like, 1 million likes, yo. Love y'all. Peace out, everyone.
I'll probably send a raid over in a bit.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out, man. We're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. If you are in the guest request and you do specifically want to come up and debate... Woo! Just let me know. Holy crap. All right. Oh, dude, it's been a rough day. Hey, for the 7,000 people in here, make sure that we're double tapping away on that phone screen and sharing out that live as well. If you want to come up and debate, if you're MAGA, just let me know in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, let's try to get our next guest up in here, y'all. And if you do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. What's up, Kate? How old are you?
I'm 22.
Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, and why's that?
Because Kamala scares me. I don't have a whole lot of stuff to back it up. Not
So
a
why does
whole lot
Kamala
of
scare you?
information, but
Why does Kamala scare you?
just because I don't know if you've seen older interviews of her. You probably have done a lot more research than I have done.
So
Actually,
you don't have a reason why she scares you. So just to make
No,
sure,
she just
Trump
scares
doesn't.
me.
So just to clarify, Trump doesn't scare you, even
Yes,
though
he
he's
does.
legally
Yes, he
responsible
does.
for raping a woman. Trump doesn't scare you, even though he sexualized a 5th grader by saying he did.
Yeah,
it to
he
you
scares
for
me.
Years. Trump didn't scare you by walking into the changing room of half-naked teen girls at Miss Teen USA because he quote unquote owned the place, or like talking about how he likes to unconsensually grab women by the P word. Like none of those, like those things don't scare you as much as what Kamala's done. Like also
No,
like
that
turning
does
over
scare
Roe v.
me.
Wade, taking away access to health care from 1 out of every 3 women in the context of the U.S. of reproductive age. What has Kamala done that scares you more than all of that?
But when he overturned Roe v. Wade, though, he gave the power back to the people to vote.
Jamina, I appreciate you
right?
for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much. No, he took the power away from the people by allowing these old men state legislators to deny women access to health care in their state.
So it's not like he didn't give the states power to vote for that. Like the people.
No. I'm so sorry. Why do you think overturning Roe v. Wade was a good thing?
I don't think it was a great thing. I think, freedom of body choice. But what I'm saying is when he overturned it, I didn't think he was dictating it. I thought he overturned it and gave the power back to the people to vote on it.
Yeah, I know, and inevitably that we'd be here in 2024 with 23 over 50 states not allowing women to access health care, including 12 states that won't even allow victims of rape to do so. That is Trump's fault. He's the one that took away the federal protections.
Oh, wow. They don't even allow grape.
Yeah. But you still haven't told me why Kamala scares you more than everything I've shared with you about Trump.
Well, I'm not
And
saying she
Megan,
scares
thank
me
you so much
more.
for the $15 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for that love. Let's get some W Megans going in that chat. Thank you for the $15. Well, if she doesn't scare you more than Trump, then why would you say you're not going to vote for her, but rather Trump because of how she scares you?
I just say that because I don't know. I've seen some of her interviews, and I guess maybe watching YouTube probably isn't the best way of education, but she doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
Like, I mean, you're just being very vague.
Well, there's this one, I don't know. I guess it's just corny. I can't tell if it was a joke or not, but her in there talking about, I'm in these streets.
I'm so confused.
Have you not seen that?
So Kamala Harris said that she's quote unquote in these streets on an interview, and that gives you more.
But
reason
not
to
just
prefer
that,
her
she just-
over the rapist, the felon, the fraudster, the election denier that's taken the rights away from all 170 million American women.
Well, I agree. He's probably not the best human being in the world. He's honestly probably not. I don't think so. I mean,
What's
for
the
me, I
what's
guess
the
you could
comparison
say.
here? She said, "I'm quote unquote in these streets on an interview," and that seriously gives you more reason. to vote
No,
for
I
the
just
rapist,
don't
felon,
think.
election denier.
I just don't think she's. I don't know. I just don't think.
Can you
so.
name one policy that Trump influenced to get passed while he was president that you agreed with?
I don't know if it was a policy, but he did fill our oil reserves, and he helped our economy tremendously.
We're drilling for more oil here at home now in the U.S. than we ever have been before, including under Trump's term.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then, but what did he do for economy? Can you name one policy that he influenced to get passed that benefited the middle class more so than the top 1%?
Not specifically, no. Can you please list something?
He didn't.
I guess
Can
I'm
you
here
name
for
any-
more for educational purposes.
Okay, well, I appreciate you for coming up, Kate. I'm going to go to move on to my next guest at this point, just because your argument was kind of like shallow, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't really feel like there's anywhere to go from there. But we're going to get our next guest up in here. In the meantime, guys, if you do want to come up and debate, just make sure to let me know in that comment section by spamming MAGA. We're going to go ahead and get our next guest up in here at this point, y'all. Also, guys, do make sure that we're double tapping away in that phone screen. Let's try to get up to 1 million likes. What's up, Moose? How old are you? Moose, hi, you're on the live. Are you there? All right, Moose is not here. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. If you are MAGA and you want to come up and debate, let me see it in the chat. Hey, what's up, Alan? Are you voting for Trump?
Hi there. No. Wait, give me 1 second. Yeah, so actually.
All right, I do appreciate you for coming up. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. If we are in the queue, make sure that we're voting for Trump, guys. We are just looking to debate Trump supporters. What's up? How old are you? All right, they automatically left.
Yo,
Moving
no,
on.
no, wait.
That is a fetus. Moving on to our next guest. Everybody be patient. Everybody be patient. Everybody be patient. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say. What's up, Taylor? How old are you? All right. Taylor's not here. Guys, this is rough. If you're voting for Trump, just let me see a MAGA in the chat. I mean, this is loony, dude. This is rough, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot get a debate to save our lives, bro. Crazy shit. Moving on to our next guest, Lewis. I'd love for you to come up. What's up, JD? How old are you?
30.
Are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
All right, why is that?
I mean, you can't vote for Kamala. I mean, 6 months ago, she had the lowest approval rating, even lower than Mike Pence. What changed all of a sudden? I'd like to know.
She started running for president.
That's a good thing?
Just a great thing.
Why? I'd like to know again. Why?
Because she's a better candidate than Donald Trump and has a better chance at beating him in our federal election in comparison to Biden.
So I remember Kamala going over to my African nations and trying to force them to accept LGBTQ culture. And then when we all laughed her off the continent, now y'all want to lay sanctions on my African nations. I thought she was a black woman last I checked.
So you're saying that she put sanctions on African nations
The
because
United States
they
did.
didn't want to
The
accept
United States did. The United States did.
LGBTQ plus?
The US.
Aisha, thank you for the $5 on PayPal.
The United States did. After none of our nations decided to go with that cultural shift.
Okay, I mean, well, first of all, W. Kamala for advocating for the rights of like the LGBTQ plus community, and then second of all, with the bigotry. Then third of all, yeah, what
I want to
sanctions on
know:
what
are
countries?
you a totalitarian or do you believe in democracy? Because last I checked, if you're a totalitarian, you want to superimpose your positions on other nations. But if you believe in democracy, then you want other nations to vote on what they believe in. So if our nations don't believe in that, who are you to tell them, oh, they're wrong, and then lay
So
sanctions?
social advocacy just attempts to get more people to believe in what's good.
Okay, and that's not social advocacy when you're laying sanctions on other nations negatively affecting their economies.
I've asked you what sanctions on what nations, and you haven't been able to tell me.
You didn't ask me, but I'll tell you sanctions on Ghana, sanctions on Nigeria, sanctions on Rwanda, sanctions on...
Can you give me a source for this? And I want a source that says that there are these sanctions put there because they're not receptive, because they're bigots. Could you give me a source for that?
You got fingers, buddy. Go on Google.
But I'm asking you for the source.
It was on the news. They're passing sanctions on our nations. It's on the news.
So you don't have a
You can
source?
go on Google and search it for yourself. You can go to...
Yeah, but you have to tell me what to put on Google, like the name of a publication and the name of like a title of.
Just
like an
Google.
article
Just
that
Google
details.
African sanctions for LGBTQ rights, and you'll find it for yourself. It's not hard.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to do your research for you. You could go
I
and
didn't-
pause and find it and come back.
I've already done my research. That's why you're asking me. I'm
Well, I
telling
mean,
you.
if you've
where to
already
find
done your research, then why can't you name the name of a publication?
I just told you to Google it,
publicator.
brother. I just told you to Google it.
I'm
Did your
asking for
teacher
the name of
tell
a
you what to find
publication
when
and
they
the name
said
of an
go do your
article.
homework?
I'm
No, they
asking
told
you for
to go do
either.
your
I'm
homework.
asking you for the name of a publication.
Go do your homework.
No, buddy, you made the claim.
Go do
You
your
have to do your
homework.
homework.
I would like to know.
So,
you want to?
so JD,
you want
when you
Kamala
make,
to be, you want Kamala to be
hey,
president.
hey, buddy,
But you
pipe
don't-
down.
But you don't know.
Hey, buddy,
but
pipe
you
down.
Don't have any. You don't have any.
Okay, I'm asking you to pipe down so I can speak. I'm gonna unmute you now. allow me to speak. Okay, I don't have to mute you. Just pipe down so I can speak. Okay. Amazing.
No, because you're being condescending.
You're going at it again. You're going at it again. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
You got Google. Grow
look
up.
at you. Look at you. Look at you. Are you ready for me to speak?
Go ahead.
Awesome. So when you make the claim that there's specifically like tariffs put on these African nations because they were not like accepting of LGBTQ plus rights and whatnot, you will have to provide me with like the name of a source, i.e., a publisher or like an article title, etc., to justify that. But I do want it to be known, right? Specifically,
MSNBC won't show it because they're biased. But go to CNN. It was all over CNN.
Okay, what do you want me to type in?
I just sanctions on African nations for LGBTQ rights.
Literally nothing popped up.
On what?
Literally like nothing about sanctions on African nations for LGBTQ plus rights. Literally nothing.
What are you searching on?
I'm on Google.
I'm on Google as well, and I'm looking at Reuters, which is a very, very, very unbiased publication. They have
What's
it
the
right
name of the
there.
title?
Uganda's anti-gay bill is the latest and worst to target LGBTQ Africans. Boom. This is from Amnesty International.
That's about
Africa,
anti-gay
barrage
bill
of
from
discriminatory
Uganda.
laws stalking hate against LGBT.
So first of all, I would hope that we'd have sanctions on Uganda for that.
USA Today, U.S. threatening sanctions against Uganda over
Amazing. Phenomenal.
That's what I'm saying. You guys are totalitarian.
Fucking great.
You guys do not believe in democracy. You believe
Why
in
would we be
totalitarianism.
helping a country that doesn't recognize
you
human
don't have
rights?
okay, if you don't want to help, that's fine. But laying sanctions is negatively affecting another nation. Like I said,
As it should.
Totalitarian mindset.
As
You don't
it
believe-
should.
You don't believe in
We
the democracy
should
of the people.
absolutely
You want the
not be
government to tell
granting
other
help
people
to
how
countries
live.
that
And
do
that's what
not
I'm talking about.
recognize and
This is
uphold
the danger
human
about letting
rights.
people like you run the nation, because you all are totalitarians. You do not believe in
But then you turn
democracy.
around and you
don't
pass
believe
a
in the
bill that
people.
specifically bans people from marrying people. You have absolutely no moral soapbox here. You have absolutely no moral high ground to be saying that the U.S. has an obligation to protect and provide for a country that does not recognize love in the context of two adult consenting individuals. We have absolutely no obligation to be providing
is their
point blank
country.
period,
That is
but
their-
absolutely we should be imposing countries we should be imposing sanctions on other countries
Get to
around the
tell
world
other
that
nations-
specifically do not recognize human rights. That is a great thing to do. We did it, and we should do it again. And honestly, if Kamala is reelected, I hope that she does it
You
again
get to tell
every single
other
time.
nations how to
They've
live.
instituted
You don't
the
get to tell
death
other
penalty.
nations how to live.
But we
get
don't.
to tell other nations how to live.
Hey JD, but
They
we
are
don't.
their
We
own
def-
nation. If
JD,
they're
we
their
do
own
not.
nation, they have
Hey
their own
JD,
belief.
we don't have to be sending money to countries that kill gay people for being gay. You understand? That's what the anti-gay bill is. They sentence GAY people to death. And why do you want to be
You don't
helping
get to
countries that sentence
superimpose your
GAY people to
beliefs on
death?
Other nations.
Well, I have a question. What's a sanction?
Sanctions can be all types of things. That can be trade embargoes. That can be increased price on imports. That can be increased price on domestic exports. There's all types of sanctions that can be laid down on the country.
So tariffs.
So which ones in particular are you talking about?
So I have a question. What is worse? Imposing a tariff onto a country specifically to pressure them to not unalive GAY people for being GAY, or a country unaliving GAY people for being GAY?
It's none of my business. That's their country. If you're worried about genocide, we have a president and vice president right now that are culpable in turning their cheek against the genocide going on of my Palestinian brothers and sisters. What has Kamala said about that?
Shit. So you
what
recognize
has Biden said about that?
So you
Absolutely nothing. They're letting
So
it
you recognize
happen.
the genocide of the
They're
Palestinian
letting it
individuals?
happen. They're letting it happen. And here you're fighting about genocide for gay people, but you don't care about genocide for my Palestinian brothers and sisters.
So
You
Trump
see,
is
the
self-described the
hypocrisy
most
is
pro-Israel. So Trump
So-
is Trump is self-described as the most pro-Israel president that we've ever had. Trump has
Well, let me
described
explain
himself
something
as
to
being
you.
better for
Let me
Israel.
explain
One second,
something.
can I finish, JD?
When I was in the military,
JD,
Trump signed the Abraham Accords, which
JD,
brought peace to the Middle East.
JD,
after
I'm
Obama
specifically,
failed at
you're
doing
not
that.
allowing me to speak.
And after Bush and Obama failed at keeping peace in the Middle
JD,
East,
you're
Trump came in and
respectfully,
signed
you're not
the
allowing me
Abraham
to
Accords,
speak.
which brought peace to the Middle East while I was serving this country.
JD, you're
So I know
specifically
that
not allowing me to
personally.
speak.
I was there in Saudi Arabia. I know that personally. He brought peace to the Middle East. He leaves office, and what does Israel do? Kill Palestinians, and y'all all turn your cheek to it. But you want to vote
Abraham
for
Accords
you want to
include Palestine?
vote for the vice president that's in office as we speak, letting it happen. She hasn't said a word about it.
Okay, so
What's
now
your
I'm going to
excuse for that?
respond. So specifically speaking, Trump is self-described as the most pro-Israel president ever.
It doesn't matter
Trump-
what he
hey,
describes himself. Look at his
JD.
actions. His
Hey,
actions. The
JD.
Abraham Accords were signed by him. His actions. You
Hey,
can say
buddy.
all that you want, but he signed it. He brought
Hey.
peace to the Middle East.
Did the Abraham Accords include Palestine?
The Abraham Accords included all of the Middle Eastern nations. Everything in there. Read it for
They
yourself.
they
Do you want
excluded
another
Palestine.
publication? You can go
And
to
then also-
the Library of Congress and you can read the Abraham Accords for yourself. You can even Google it. They have an online archive and you can read it for yourself.
Okay, so on a couple notes here, I hope that you'll allow me to speak this time. I will unfortunately have to start muting you if you continue interrupting me, so just try to have some composure, right? So you brought up a lot of points. When we're talking about peace in the Middle East, there was a 450% increase in drone strikes in the Middle East under Trump's presidency in comparison to Obama's. We also had a proxy war with Russia and Syria, and there's also the Yemen genocide. And then particularly when we're speaking on the Abraham Accords in relation to the genocide now being committed onto the innocent Palestinian individuals, the Abraham Accords did not include Palestine. And then when you're referencing like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's complacency with the genocide of Palestinian lives, first of all, I absolutely agree that I do not support funding for Israel, and the Biden and Harris administration has sent funding to Israel. But in this respect, I'm looking at the lesser of two evils. And specifically on this point, Trump reports himself as the most pro-Israel president that we've ever had. Right?
And he
Trump
said he
says
would
that the
stop the
Biden-Harris
war.
administration. One second. Trump has said that the Biden-Harris administration has not sent enough money to Israel. Trump said that the Biden-Harris administration has not been supporting Israel enough. They haven't been sending them enough weapons. They haven't been sending them enough funding. And specifically speaking, he said that Israel should finish what they started. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is over here signing a historic ceasefire agreement to try to seek peace between Israel and Palestine, ushering in a two-state solution, while also humanizing the innocent Palestinians, which is something I've seen no mainstream politician do. Then back to your point about us sanctioning Uganda.
how many UN resolutions
I'm not
stand-
done. I told you that I'd specifically mute you if you interrupted me. So there you go. Then when you're referencing sanctions put on Uganda for their anti-GAY bill, yes. Like Uganda signing into effect an anti-GAY bill that specifically calls for the death penalty for everyone that isn't straight is something that we should sanction point blank period. In the same way we sanctioned Germany during World War II, in the same way we should be sanctioning Israel now, in the same way that we would sanction Syria during our proxy war with Russia, in the same way that we sanction countries around the world every single day that are violating the bare necessary human rights of the constituents of the nation to pressure them into better policy. That is absolutely something that we should do, and that is absolutely something that I'll defend as well. But I have a question. Were you virtue signaling about the innocent Palestinians that you cared were being genocided? Because if you weren't virtue signaling, then how specifically do you respond to Trump calling him the most pro-Israel president ever and inviting Benjamin Netanyahu to his house to have dinner with him after Kamala specifically didn't go to his address in Congress?
You don't get to. I'm sorry, but you don't get to superimpose your opinion on other nations. I'm sorry. Other nations look at America and ask themselves, why are they allowing their children at the age of 13 to decide
appreciate
they're
you
a
for
boy
the
and then
amazing.
turn into a girl? That's asinine to other nations. I would know. I've been there. They talk about it. That's asinine. It's actually disgusting, but that's your Democratic Party for you. And Kamala Harris
Yeah,
goes into office.
so-
I hope you're
so
cool
there's
with
another
yourself,
point
with
there.
your child making that decision. It's appalling.
Okay, so now
To a
you're
lot
like
of
now you're
people.
pivoting to literal healthcare. This is embarrassing for you, JC.
No, it's not.
And then
It's not. I'm not
absolutely.
pivoting.
What do you
I'm
disagree on?
giving you an example.
Hey,
I'm
hey,
giving you an
JD.
example.
Hey, JD.
You're
During World War II,
superimposing your opinion.
during World War II, would you disagree with sanctioning Germany, right, for their genocide of Jewish individuals because we'd be superimposing our values onto them?
Imagine that. You're upset.
Can you answer my question?
I'm making I'm making my opinion known, and you want to
No, I'm not upset.
superimpose yours on other people.
Yeah. So would you
like I said,
would you disagree with sanctions put on Germany during World War II for their genocide of the Jewish individuals, or would you say that this is us superimposing our values onto them?
say again.
Would you disagree with the U.S. Placing sanctions on Germany during World War II because of their genocide of the Jewish individuals, or would you say that this is us superimposing our values onto them, and that's wrong?
The Holocaust was wrong, but at the same time, it's still what the German
Why
people
are you
voted
super?
on.
Why? So you'd say that we shouldn't have sanctioned them?
Like I said, it's the German people's decision.
So we shouldn't have sanctioned Germany
I
during World
don't
War
think
II.
any nation has the right to sanction other nations. No, generally, no. Limited government is what I believe in. Who are you as one nation? If you want to raise your taxes on your nation, on tariffs to come into your nation, that's fine. But to then go out and negatively affect other nations, if you know your history, if you know about economic hitmen, if you know about the IMF, how the World Bank works, you all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's unlawful for one nation that calls themselves the police of the world to go ahead and sanction other nations because their people are making their decisions.
And just to clarify, so you disagreed with sanctions against Germany for their genocide of the Jewish individuals. Do you disagree that Allies advance into Germany to forcefully stop them?
No, I served in the military. No.
Wait, so why could you say that you disagree with sanctions placed on them to stop them, but you wouldn't disagree with forceful military blockades?
Because the reason why we even went in there to begin with was to restore our nation's economy. Like, let's
Wait, answer my question. No, you said that you didn't mind us sending our troops into Germany to stop them from committing the Holocaust. So why would you mind literal sanctions to stop?
But that's the thing. That's the thing. You don't understand World War II. We didn't go in there with the knowledge that the Holocaust was happening. We found out while we were on those lands that this thing was going on. So we didn't
you disagree with us stopping the Holocaust from occurring?
Listen, learn your history. We didn't go in there with the mindset that we're going to go save the Jewish people. We went in there with the mindset of conquest. We need to restore our economy. We just got out of the Great Depression. That is the reason why we went into World War II. We didn't.
Yeah, no. The reason that we started.
We didn't have a clue that
I mean, first of all, you're wrong. Second of all, you're not answering my question. Like, I want you to let you know the reason that we started war on the Eastern Front is specifically for that reason.
You don't know.
It's because
you have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I absolutely know what I'm talking about. Hitler specifically declared war on the U.S., in which we then fucked them up with the rest of the Allies for their war crimes due to their declaration of war. So don't talk to me as if I think that I don't know my history when I specifically know more of my history than you do. And then also don't pivot around my question.
Military history.
I absolutely do.
No, you don't.
Did Hitler declare war on the U.S.?
No, you don't.
Did Hitler declare war on the U.S.?
Did Hitler? No, he never declared war on the U.S.
Oh my God! Wow, you are ignorant as all hell.
We didn't go in there with Hitler declaring war on the United States. We went.
Yes. Hitler declared war on the U.S. on December 11th, 1941. Hitler declared war on the U.S. on December 11th, 1941.
When was Pearl Harbor?
What was what the fuck does Pearl Harbor have to do with Hitler declaring war on the U.S.?
Because we went into
it's why he declared war. It's actually why. It actually does have some
That's what I'm trying to tell you, goofy.
Wait, you just said that Hitler didn't declare war at all.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We went into the war.
Motherfucker, you just said that Hitler didn't declare war at all. Now you're saying that Hitler declared war because we're getting Japan had declared war on the U.S.? I'm so sorry. Did or did not Hitler declare war on the U.S.? JD's not so smart after all, folks.
We were supplying the Allies the same way we're supplying Ukraine right now.
Did Hitler not declare war on the U.S.?
We did not go into the war until after Pearl Harbor took place.
Did or did not Hitler declare war on the U.S.?
Once we had landed, once we had got into...
Shut the fuck up. Did Hitler declare war on the U.S.?
We did. Hitler did not declare war and then we came. He declared war as a result of us already being there.
So when did we advance on the Eastern Front?
You're saying a whole lot of nothing. You're trying to talk your followers into circles, bro. I'm going to pierce right through that. I know my military history. I was in the shit. You was a civilian.
When did the U.S. officially enter World War II?
Post Pearl Harbor.
What date?
I gotta Google that for you right quick.
The date Hitler declared war on the U.S.
No, dickhead, no.
Yes.
Yes.
We were already there. And yes.
We were already there.
December 11th, 1941.
We were already there.
Absolutely not. You understand, what year do you think that the U.S. first crossed into Germany? 1945. 1945. The U.S. Third Army carried out four river assault in late March in 1945.
Not reading fast enough, bro. We did not.
What a dumbass. Learn your history, folks, or else you're gonna end up like him. Learn your history, folks, or you're gonna end up like him.
You're not the only.
Hey, what's up? How old are you?
Only rat to my daddy.
Yo, Meryl, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Also, everyone saying that I was wrong. No. Take 10 seconds out of your day. Look it up. Literally look it up. Go on Google. Fact check everything that I've said. You are all wrong. Everybody's saying that Dean was incorrect. Go on pause. Go to Google before you embarrass yourself. You are all embarrassing yourselves right now. You all have Google at your fingertips. Look up the date that Hitler declared war on the U.S. Look up the date that the U.S. first crossed in to Germany 4 years later. Stop embarrassing yourself. Everybody, take a second to go on Google and fact check your falsehoods. Moving on to our next guest here, y'all. Every single source will show I'm right. That's why debating empirical fact is so fun. Because I can disprove everybody with what actually happened. All right, we're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. Everyone, just do give us a minute, y'all. We're still looking to get our next guest up in here, guys. If you specifically are MAGA, if you are voting for Trump, make sure to hop in that queue, y'all. We're probably going to do one more debate here before we do inevitably go and raid Parker. Let me see a MAGA in the chat if you are voting for Trump. Everyone's saying that you were wrong? I know, crazy delusion. All right, everybody, do just give us a minute here, y'all. We're still looking for our next guest, y'all. Hey, what's up? How old are you? Caden, hi. How old are you? Okay, Caden's not here. We're just going to go and load people up from the chat, y'all. All right, guys, if you're already in the queue, you know what? Honestly, we're going to go just raid Parker now. So can y'all put a @ParkerGetARealJob in the chat? We're going to go ahead and send him a raid now. I'm probably going to hang out over there and coast with him for a little bit. Effie, you're already on it. Wow. All right, let's go ahead and just send a raid over to Parker. So all 4.2 thousand of y'all, right, specifically head over to Parker's account, @ParkerGetARealJob. Spam Dean raid in the chat. I will be coming over there, following very shortly behind. So everyone head over there now. I will be there shortly behind to, run it up with him for a little bit, co-host, have some fun. So yeah, I'll see y'all over there momentarily. All right, head over to @ParkerGetARealJob. Love you all. See you over there in a